Chapter 650. The anger on Ling Ying's face did not dissipate. Got it. She turned around and was about to leave. You're angry? Lin Xian scratched his head and asked. No. You're just angry. No. Ling Ying looked impatient. Seeing this, Lu Jingyi and the others were even more disdainful. She was obviously angry. She couldn't take it back, right? Who told you to be pretentious? If you're not angry, smile. Lin Xian grinned. I'm really not angry. Ling Ying's tone softened. Everyone revealed a surprised expression. Why did her tone soften? Lin Xian took out his phone. Well, I'm sincerely apologizing to you. Really? You're prettier than any girl I've ever seen. Let me add you on WeChat. I'll treat you to a meal when I'm free. Ling Ying and Han Qixue stopped. No need for WeChat. I'm really not angry. Ling Ying's tone really softened. Okay, if you don't want to add me, then don't. Otherwise, you'll think that I'm cheating you. Lin Xian scratched his head and smiled. Then you guys go and have fun. I won't disturb you. I'm really sorry. Ling Ying nodded and walked forward with Han Qixue. Lu Jingyi was relieved. He was really surprised to see Ling Ying's attitude soften. So were the others. But they still couldn't get her contact number. And she even asked for it. Nonsense. At this time, Ling Ying stopped and turned around. Well, actually I was wrong just now. I shouldn't have said that to you. We're even. Everyone. What the F***ck? Lin Xian scratched his head. No. We're not even. It's because I smoked first. I still feel guilty. Ling Ying nodded slightly. Then, how about this? I'll add you. I did something wrong. When you're free, let's have a meal together. It can be considered my apology. And it can also be considered your apology. Everyone? Sure, but I'll say this first. It's my treat. You guys pick the place. Alright. Then Lin Xian added them on WeChat, and the two women walked away. Everyone. Lu Jingyi. Wang Haiyang. What the hell is going on? Weren't you very angry? What's with this sudden reversal? I'm dumbfounded. Liao Zhibang and Wang Haiyang are already in such a state, yet they still haven't gotten their contact details. They don't even care about the two of them. How did Lin Xian manage to get their WeChat when he angered them? And it was Ling Ying who said it himself. F***ck. Could this be a trap? This Lin Xian has the school bell on both sides. This is a trap. Although I don't understand, this Lin Xian. Is the F***king Casanova? Everyone revealed an incomparably shocked expression. Crazy. What's wrong with this world? Lu Jingyi was the same. Not only did he get their WeChat, but it was also Ling Ying who took the initiative to ask. This Lin Xian waved his phone. Are you convinced? The way Lu Jingyi looked at Lin Xian was already glowing. I'm convinced. I'm really convinced. Brother Xian, no, master. Please accept me as your disciple. I beg you. Lu Jingyi really worshipped Lin Xian. He was full of admiration. Lin Xian then rubbed his hands. Yes. Lu Jingyi quickly took out his phone and scanned Lin Xian's QR code. Jibubao $6 million. Why is there an extra million? The other million is a disciple's filial piety to master Hehe. Lu Jingyi scratched his head and said, I'm sure. Master, I'll treat you to a meal. Let's go, it's already noon. It's time for lunch. Sure. Hehe, then tell me the principle of this on the way. Then the two walked out of St. Brilliant's Academy, leaving behind a group of dumbfounded students. From now on, the legend of Lin Xian spread throughout St. Brilliant's Academy. People respectfully called him Casanova Lin Xian. Who knows how many people fought to get his guidance? Master, what's the principle of this? I really don't understand. Lin Xian patted Lu Jingyi's shoulder and said, This is what I told you before. To pick up a girl, you have to stimulate her emotions. Happiness, excitement, depression, sadness, anger. This series of emotions will evolve into love in the later part of your attack. Then Lin Xian continued. I made her angry at the beginning. That did seem like the worst situation to pick up a girl. But at that time, I apologized to her. A man apologizes to her in front of so many people. Of course she'll be appeased. At the same time, you made her angry, so your position in her heart is different. Then I asked for her WeChat, but she didn't give it to me, right? Lu Jingyi nodded. Of course I didn't choose to continue. Instead, I used my words to make her feel that I was sincere. I let her feel my sincerity. Plus, her attitude towards me wasn't good before, and she said some dirty words. Of course, she would feel a little embarrassed, and then she would give in. I gave her face, and she gave me face. In short, I suppressed my desire and loosened the reins only to grasp them better. That's the conclusion. Awesome, really awesome. Lu Jingyi gave a thumbs up. Although he didn't really understand, he just felt that it was awesome. The truth made him feel that it was awesome. However, this is a relatively advanced method of picking up girls. Of course, you can't use it with your current realm. You can only use compliments to pick up girls. Of course, there's a prerequisite. You can't lick her. That's the biggest prerequisite. Then you have to raise the girl's emotions. Then you have to turn those emotions into flirtatious feelings. Then, you'll be able to win her heart by attacking her. 3 days, I told you. This wasn't fake. This was really a method to pick up girls. Of course, because Lin Xian and Ling Ying were acting, this method of suppressing one's desire to pick up girls was simplified. To put it simply, you had to let the girl's emotions come out. Only with emotions would she think of you. That was the general idea. But in reality, it wasn't that simple. It wasn't difficult, but there was a big prerequisite. If it wasn't acting, then there had to be a prerequisite to use this method. That was in a social setting. What was a social setting? For example, your friend was having a birthday party. Everyone was invited to the KTV to sing. At the same time, some girls that you didn't know were invited. If you took a fancy to one of them, you could use this method. Because in such an occasion, if you made the girl angry, she would definitely not fall out with you. Because of the occasion, how could a friend's birthday party end on a bad note? She would definitely endure it. At this time, with these methods, you would definitely be able to get her contact information. As for whether you could pick her up or not, that would depend on the follow-up. But this indeed required skills. Chapter 651. Along the way, Lu Jingyi and Lin Xian had a meal and bragged to Lu Jingyi for 2 hours. He now admired Lin Xian and called him master willingly. However, Lin Xian didn't know if what he said was true or not. It was probably true, but it was all in theory. However, because it was successful in practice, it was right. Just like some successful entrepreneurs, when they weren't successful, their words were like farts. When they were successful, their speeches and farts were all true. Now Lin Xian belonged to the latter, because he did it in front of Lu Jingyi, and made Ling Ying give him his contact information. Then, Lin Xian took in a follower who was dead set on him, and admired him to the point of prostrating himself on the ground. This was also a skill to make someone who came looking for trouble become his follower. It was also amazing. At this moment, Liao Zhibang was sitting in Liao Jian's office. This office was like a big room in a 5-star hotel. It was especially luxurious. Liao Jian handed Liao Zhibang a glass of water. How come you have time to come here? Liao Jian sat down and drank a mouthful of water. Liao Zhibang held the water and drank a mouthful. Big brother, this time I came here to ask you about someone. Ask about someone? You went to the family to look for those in charge of intelligence. Why are you looking for me? Liao Jian looked at Liao Zhibang in surprise. It's like this. I met someone in St. Brilliant Academy, and had a little conflict with him. He said you know him, so I came to ask you. Oh, I know him. Who? His name is Lin Xian. Liao Jian frowned. You said he entered St. Brilliant Academy, and had a conflict with you? Liao Zhibang nodded. Big brother, do you know this Lin Xian? When Liao Jian heard the name Lin Xian, he slightly clenched his fist and nodded. Seeing his big brother nod, Liao Zhibang was also surprised. What was his big brother's identity? This Lin Xian actually knew him? Who exactly is he? Liao Zhibang really wanted to know this. He wanted to know if this Lin Xian was someone he could afford to offend. This Lin Xian should be related to the Art Xian group. Liao Jian said. Yashuan group? Liao Zhibang frowned. The Yashuan group had also appeared out of nowhere. Although it was not comparable to the Liao group yet, it would not take long before the Yashuan group would surpass the Liao group in terms of financial resources. What relationship? Liao Jian shook his head. I'm not sure. Maybe he's one of the shareholders. Liao Zhibang clenched his fists. This was going to be difficult. Liao Jian was also uncomfortable. He had been played by this Lin Xian twice. He had lost face. Morong Qing had also completely lost contact with him after she had used him. He felt terrible. He hated Lin Xian. But at this point in time, their Liao group could no longer compete with the Yixian group, nor could they. This was because the Yixian group's business was looked forward to by the entire continent and was supported by everyone. If Lin Xian were to jump out and cause trouble, it would cause a huge impact to his Liao group. However, he also wanted to deal with this Lin Xian. Then, big brother, can you help me? This Lin Xian is simply too presumptuous. However, his strength is very strong. At the same time, he has the spatial attribute. I'm not his opponent. It was obvious that the relationship between these two brothers was quite good. Let's put this matter aside for now. I'll think of a way. Before that, you'd better not have a conflict with him. Then, big brother, what can you do? Liao Zhibang asked expectantly. Liao Jian revealed a cold smile. Simple. Just get rid of him. After that, Lin Xian went to the Yixian building. Lin Yu was having lunch in the building's cafeteria. Now everything was basically on track. Just like before, Lin Yu had also set up a cafeteria on one of the floors of the building. She had specially hired a few good chefs to cook, making it look like a state-owned enterprise. This was also a reflection of her compassion for her employees. After all, when working in such an office building, most companies did not provide meals. When it was time to eat, they had to eat by themselves, order takeout, or go out to eat. Very few companies could build a cafeteria in such a building. However, Lin Yu had done so and won the praise of her employees. Lin Yu had always followed a principle, which was that her employees were her friends. The employees were everything in any company. If you treated them well, they would repay you with more serious work. There were many people in the building who did not know Lin Xian. This was normal. Lin Xian also hoped that this would be the case. Then, Lin Xian inquired about Lin Yu's location and went to the cafeteria. The cafeteria was very clean and tidy. Hundreds of people were eating here one after another, and it was full of laughter. In a corner, Lin Yu sat there alone, eating while looking at her phone. Those who passed by all greeted her respectfully. Lin Yu also nodded slightly. Anyway, the employees were all very respectful to her. Moreover, she ate the employees' meal every day like them. She was really a good boss. Lin Xian did not care. Did he have to eat abalone and shark's fin every day? Lin Yu was probably not used to it. She felt that this kind of ordinary meal was really good. Little fairy. Lin Xian went behind her and called out. Lin Yu was stunned, and then quickly turned around. Why are you here? She was very surprised to see Lin Xian. Although she saw him almost every day, she was very happy to see him every time. I'm here to freeload some food. Lin Xian smiled and sat beside her. You haven't eaten? I'll help you call. No need. I've eaten. I just came to see you. I want to eat this meat. Lin Yu then added a piece of meat for Lin Xian and personally fed it to him. This scene was seen by many people, and they all had a shocked expression. There were many young people in the company, both men and women. They had to admit that Lin Yu was the goddess in the hearts of the male employees. However, they were only employees and did not have the courage to get close to her. Moreover, Lin Yu was relatively cold outside. But seeing this scene, they were really shocked. Who is that man? Could he be Boss Lin's boyfriend? Boss Lin's smile is so beautiful. They are so sweet. I'm so envious. So Boss Lin has a boyfriend? To be able to make Boss Lin smile so sweetly, she must love her boyfriend a lot, right? I'm thinking, who is worthy of Boss Lin? And he looks very young. In a moment, this became a hot topic in the company. Little fairy, in the future, you don't have to come to the company every day. Just occasionally take care of things and do your own things. Otherwise, it will be too tiring. Lin Xian said reluctantly. Chapter 652. Lin Yu was tired, but she was content. Moreover, she was doing it for Lin Xian. She was very satisfied to be managing Lin Xian's company. It's okay. Moreover, the company is still in its early stages. We just need to take care of it. Then relax a little later. Otherwise I'll spank you. Linya blushed slightly. I know. But Ching Ching is with me. It's not tiring at all. Ching Ching was of course Morong Ching. She seemed to care a lot about this. She would come to work every day for the first time and manage the company with Linya. Lin Xian then looked around. Many people were looking at them. When they saw Lin Xian looking over, they quickly continued eating and acted as if nothing had happened. How's the company doing now? Linya said. The daily sales are only increasing. We're even worried that the supply of chalcedony liquid is not enough. Lin Xian said, leave the chalcedony liquid to me. He had 50 to 60 million Adonis points. He did not have to worry about the chalcedony liquid for the time being. At this time, Morong Ching swayed her body and walked over with lunch. Oh, isn't this young Master Lin? What brings you here? Morong Ching smiled and sat opposite Lin Xian and Linya. This Yixian group was considered a legend. This legend was not just any legend, but the two most powerful people in the company. They were both top-notch and rarely seen goddesses. One was cold, and the other was seductive. Really, many people were looking forward to seeing them when they came to work. It was really a blessing. Linya and Morong Ching also became good friends. It had to be said that Linya had a natural affinity. Perhaps part of it was because of Lin Xian. Anyway, all the girls liked her and wanted to be friends with her. Didn't you say that you hate going to work the most? Why? Have you become a white-collar worker who goes to work and leaves work on time? Lin Xian asked with a smile. Sigh, there's nothing I can do about it. After all, I'm also a small shareholder of the Yixian Group. This company has just started, and it's like my own child. Shouldn't I take good care of it? When the child grows up, we can let him grow up on his own. Am I right? Morong Ching smiled and asked. Lin Xian shrugged his shoulders. What you said seems to make sense. Unfortunately, you're still an old B***tch. Morong Ching was speechless. Xiao Xian, you can't be so rude to girls. Linya began to teach Lin Xian again. Got it. Lin Xian scratched his head. Kikik. When Morong Ching saw that Lin Xian actually admitted defeat, she couldn't help but laugh. This Lin Xian actually knew how to back down. I asked your sister to introduce a boyfriend to me. Morong Ching took a bite and smiled. Lin Xian. F***ck. That wouldn't do. This Morong Ching was his internally chosen one. How could he let her run away? No. What was Morong Ching's identity? Wasn't it easy for her to find a man? It was just that her standards were too high. How could she easily date a guy who was introduced to her by others? So this was a joke. Of course, Lin Xian wasn't stupid. Although many people's boyfriends and girlfriends were introduced to them by their friends, they were all very ordinary people. Morong Ching didn't fit such a setting. Oh, and then Lin Xian pinched a piece of meat in front of Linya and put it into his mouth. Linya rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. Here, I'll help you. Morong Ching saw how loving the siblings were and was actually very envious. If she had a younger brother or sister, she would definitely spoil him to the heavens. Guess what? Your sister actually introduced you to me. Uffed. Lin Xian had just taken a sip of water and almost spat it out. Linya's little face was a little red. I say, little fairy, don't always sell me to every girl you meet. Lin Xian said with a helpless smile. You're not young anymore. Linya muttered. Lin Xian was also speechless. From the young ones like Lu Yufan, and the others to the old ones like Morong Ching. This Linya didn't even let go of them. Then what do you say? Lin Xian calmed down and asked with a smile. Me? I'm fine with anything. If you don't mind that I'm old, then that's fine too. Morong Ching laughed delicately. How is that possible? You're old? No matter where you go, people will think you're 20 years old. Continue licking. Lin Xian. 24, 26, 27 years old. Lin Xian felt that girls at this age were the most beautiful and charming. Just look at Linya, Xiao Runing and Morong Ching. In 2 years, when Han Qixue and Ling Ying were also 24 years old, they would probably be even more beautiful. Okay. I won't talk to you anymore, okay? You guys eat. I'm leaving. Seeing you annoys me. Boss Lin, remember to pay. Morong Ching shouted. Lin Xian rolled his eyes at her, and then left. Then Morongqing and Linya chatted there. And Lin Xian? He had nothing to do. He really had nothing to do. Every day, other than cultivating his relationship with this girl, he would be with that girl. He really wanted to go to the demonic beast domain. However, even Lin Xian did not dare to go to the demonic beast domain now. Think about it. Tianhua City had just fallen, and countless high-level demonic beasts had participated in that battle. A large number of them must have not left yet. Tianhua City was their spoils of war, so they definitely had to take care of it. However, this realm was still not bad. He was already at the 5-star Thunder Tribulation realm. When he reached the 10-star Thunder Tribulation realm, he could use the last heavenly star fruit to directly advance to the Law realm. When he advanced from the Law realm to the Domain realm, there would be no such effect. However, he was still satisfied. The things in the second mall had a great impact on Lin Xian. They were very, very useful. Other than the obedient spray, Lin Xian had not used it before. No, he had used it before. When he destroyed the Heavenly Void Crystal, he had used it to control many powerhouses, and buy them a lot of time. This matter would naturally be passed down through the ages. Even if he could not do it, he would definitely be rewarded by the 3 major forces. Unfortunately, Lin Xian did not like to show his face. He liked to keep a low profile. Wasn't it good to be an ordinary person? How comfortable was it to flirt with girls? However, it was also quite blissful. However, Lin Xian felt that as a man, he was not doing his job properly if he played with girls every day. However, Lin Xian was actually doing something important. He was doing a mission. What was the most important thing now? It was Linglong Shui, Linglong Yue and Bing Lingyue. He had to get these 3 girls. There was not much time left for Lin Xian. Lin Xian was confident. He only needed time. However, there was a very, very difficult place now. The 3 of them lived together, and he had to get all 3 of them. Under normal circumstances, it might be easier for him to get the first one. But what about the second one? What about the third one? Therefore, it was a little troublesome. Lin Xian even wondered if he could get more time. He did not have much time left. At this moment, Lin Xian's phone rang. Chapter 653. Lin Xian took out his phone and answered the call. Hello, little Ying. Lin Xian couldn't help but smile. It's been a while since I've been intimate with them. No, I have to do something tonight. After all, I'm a normal man. Treat us to a meal. Ling Ying's voice came. Why? Lin Xian scratched his head. Hey, Chuxue and I helped you act cool, shouldn't we? On the other side, Ling Ying and Han Chuxue were sitting in a coffee shop. She pouted. This Lin Xian. Humph. But didn't I promise to cook for you guys? I didn't treat you guys to a meal, so why should I treat you guys to a meal? Lin Xian said straightforwardly. Of course it was to act cool, to earn Adonis points. Ding. Feeling Ling Ying's extreme displeasure. Adonis points plus 200,000. What's the situation now? Doing the same thing now, the Adonis points increased by a lot. This is also a good thing. It's probably because Lin Xian opened the second shop. Say that again. Ling Ying said angrily. Even if there's no such reason as a boyfriend, shouldn't you treat us to a meal? Let's break up. Let's break up. Lin Xian couldn't help but smile. Okay. But you guys have to deal with it first. I'll treat you guys to a meal tonight. It's not that long before dinner, and I've already eaten 2 meals at noon. Ling Ying was even more annoyed. 2 meals? Looks like you invited 2 groups of girls, right? Lin Xian. I heard that you have girls in St. Brilliance Academy. Lin Xian, oh Lin Xian, you're so capable now. Ahem. Lin Xian coughed dryly. I'm just joking. I'm just playing around. You really believed me. Humph, of course I believe you. Okay, I'll go play with Chuxue first. Remember to call us at night. Then Ling Ying hung up the phone. Lin Xian shrugged. In the afternoon, he went to visit Linglong Shui and the others to cultivate their relationship. The sky was getting dark. Originally, Linglong Shui and the others wanted to invite Lin Xian out for dinner, but Lin Xian rejected them. Rejecting girls appropriately was also a way to pick them up. What do you need to pick up girls? You need to arouse the girl's emotions. If you reject her, she will think, why did this guy reject me? Is it because I'm not good enough? If she thinks this way, her mind will be filled with you. Then, you can use other methods to make her suddenly feel that there's nothing wrong with her, and praise her. At that time, you can probably make your move. Of course, this was all in theory. In reality, there were bound to be some discrepancies. They had to act according to the circumstances. Lin Xian arrived at the movie theater. Han Chuxue and Ling Ying were sitting in the hall with a cup of milk tea each, waiting for him. Many people around them were looking at them. However, there was also a person from St. Brilliant Academy, Wang Haiyang. Wang Haiyang was Han Chuxue's admirer. There was no conflict between him and Lin Xian. He also came out with his friends and accidentally met Ling Ying and Han Chuxue. However, he didn't make a move because he didn't even have Han Chuxue's contact information. How could he appear so openly, treat them to dinner, and watch a movie with them? Of course, it was no problem for ordinary girls. However, if it was them, it was different. Therefore, he followed them secretly with a few friends. Young Master Wang, these two girls are really the best. The quality of the girls in St. Brilliant Academy is getting higher and higher. Which one do you like? A man with slick back hair looked at them from afar, and then asked. Wang Haiyang said, "It doesn't matter which one. They are both beautiful. It's worth it to get any one of them. However, I prefer the colder one. Here, the one on the right. Really the best. Then I'll go after the one on the left." Wang Haiyang sneered. "You, Liao Zhibang still hasn't gotten her contact information. How can you compare to Liao Zhibang?" It was a little awkward. However, at this moment, Lin Xian's figure suddenly flashed in Wang Haiyang's mind. Later, he asked Lu Jingyi and found out that this was Lin Xian's way of picking up girls. He really used this method to pick up girls. If it wasn't an accident, then he really admired him. His ability to pick up girls was really good. But now, he found that Lin Xian was really awesome. At this moment, he suddenly saw the two girls smiling, and even greeting each other. His first reaction was that the person they were waiting for had arrived. It should be a girl. When he looked over, he was stunned. Lin Xian? Isn't that Lin Xian? Then he saw that Lin Xian was chatting with the two girls. It was an accident, but not too much. Why? Because they did make an appointment in public that Lin Xian would treat them to a meal as an apology. But this was a movie theater. They were watching a movie. It had already developed to this extent. It had only been an afternoon. What kind of saint was he? Oh, there's actually a guy who seems to have a good relationship with them? What's the situation, Master Wang? You don't have to worry about it. As long as he's not a threat to me. Anyway, Wang Haiyang's main target was Han Chuxue. As long as this Lin Xian didn't have any feelings for Han Chuxue, it was fine. If he did, then he would take action. Do you see the 10 o'clock direction? That seems to be Chushue's admirer. Lin Xian had already noticed the few people the moment he came in. It was very simple to find them. In the hall, the boys' eyes and attention were on Han Chuxue and the girls, but most of the girls' attention was on them. Then Lin Xian noticed them. I saw them. They followed us in. Han Chuxue said faintly. With Ling Ying and Han Chushue's ability, how could they not notice that they were being followed? That's a pity. I originally wanted to hug each of you with one arm, but now I can't. I have to pretend. TSK, you can't do that in the first place. Ling Ying rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. He seemed to be thinking about something. Lin Xian smiled. Don't be so heartless. At least the three of us have shared a bed together. Say that again. Ling Ying gritted her teeth. Cough cough. Lin Xian coughed dryly. Then what do we do now? Are you hungry? If not, let's watch a movie first. Recently, a movie called Be a Dream Guy from Now On has been released. Chuxue and I are both loyal readers of this novel. Let's see if it's good. Chuxue and I just finished eating not long ago, and also had some snacks. Okay, then I'll accompany the two of you to watch the movie. Han Chushue's face turned slightly red. Shameless. Ling Ying rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. Then the three of them went to buy tickets. Normally, Lin Xian would be in the middle. Then the two girls would hug each of them. Since Wang Haiyang was here, then they had to act. Chapter 654. Lin Xian carried milk tea. and followed the two girls into the studio of Be a Dream Guy from now on. There were many people inside, and almost all the seats were full. It was evident that the popularity of the show was quite high. Lin Xian's seat was in the middle. Originally, he was sitting between Ling Ying and Han Chuxue, hugging one in each arm. However, he still had to act. Hence, Lin Xian sat on the right side of Ling Ying. On the left side of Ling Ying was Han Chuxue. He could only take advantage of Ling Ying. The two girls were gradually getting used to this kind of situation. They were both Lin Xian's girlfriends and they knew each other. However, what could they do? As long as they weren't too presumptuous, it would be fine. Wang Haiyang and the others were sitting behind Lin Xian. Compared to the movie, how did Lin Xian ask the two girls out? How was their relationship? And whether there would be any intimate actions? This was more important. When he saw that Lin Xian was sitting beside Ling Ying, and not between the two of them, he inexplicably heaved a sigh of relief. Perhaps it was because he knew that Lin Xian had a few campus belles in St. Brilliant's Academy, and they were Yi Yi and the rest. That meant that they were Lin Xian's girlfriends, and they got along well with each other. Someone asked them this question in the afternoon, and they all admitted it. At this moment, Lin Xian completely exploded in St. Brilliant's Academy. He was simply a god. Wang Haiyang naturally knew about this matter. Fortunately, he was pursuing Ling Ying. However, when he saw that Lin Xian asked the two girls out, and that Lin Xian had 3 campus belles in his arms during the day, he was inexplicably worried. Would Lin Xian have these 2 girls in his arms? Fortunately, when he saw that Lin Xian wasn't in the middle, he heaved a sigh of relief. That's all. Wang Haiyang sneered, but he actually admired Lin Xian. He just didn't want to admit that Lin Xian was really good at picking up girls. Hey, according to your temperament, shouldn't you be more impudent in front of this person? Lin Xian smiled and said to Ling Ying, then we have to act like it. How can I make you angry in the morning and get you at night? That's too fake. This proves that you're amazing at picking up girls, isn't it? Then wouldn't people say that you're very casual? Ling Ying rolled his eyes at Lin Xian. At least you know how to talk. Her heart was very happy. It turned out that Lin Xian was thinking for her. Han Chuxue still had that cold look on her face. She didn't participate in their conversation too much. Even if she had become Lin Xian's girlfriend, she still cared a lot. When Lin Xian and Ling Ying were talking, although she seemed to be watching the movie, she was actually listening carefully. Little Chuxue, I want a kiss. Lin Xian then bypassed Ling Ying and said to Han Chuxue sweetly. Schwa. Han Chushua's beautiful little face was suddenly dyed with a layer of red. She ignored Lin Xian. Bastard. Ling Ying gritted his teeth, and then pinched Lin Xian's arm. Hiss. To be honest, this girl's pinching technique was simply unbearable. Watch the movie. Ling Ying glared at Lin Xian. Okay, let's watch the movie. Lin Xian shrugged his shoulders. I want to eat popcorn. Then Lin Xian said to Ling Ying. Here. Ling Ying handed the popcorn to Lin Xian. Feed me. Ling Ying. How shameless. Then she grabbed a few popcorn and fed it to Lin Xian. Although they couldn't act too intimate, Lin Xian didn't want the people behind them to feel good. They couldn't be too intimate to the extent that they were boyfriend and girlfriend, but a little intimate would make the people behind them unhappy. Wang Haiyang suddenly saw this scene, and his whole hand subconsciously clenched into a fist. Even though Ling Ying wasn't the one he was pursuing, how did Lin Xian manage to make Ling Ying, whom he had just met in the morning, feed him popcorn when he had angered her? Sour. This way, from the looks of it, he had a very high chance of wooing Ling Ying. So awesome. To be honest, other than feeling extremely unhappy and sour, he really admired him. Anyway, he wasn't the one pursuing Ling Ying. He was pursuing Han Chuxue. Looking at this, although he didn't want to admit it, the scene in front of him had already convinced him. If he made a move on Han Chuxue, would Han Chuxue also fall for it? One must know that in terms of appearance, temperament and excellence, Han Chuxue and Ling Ying weren't any worse than the #1 beauty of St. Brilliant's Academy. To be precise, the 3 of them were the most beautiful, and it was impossible to rank them. However, Han Chuxue and the #1 beauty had the same personality. If Lin Xian could really do it, Then it proved that Lin Xian had the means to pursue the number one beauty. No, he had to do something before that happened. That's right. Apprentice and learn. Although he was extremely unhappy, he had to admit that his methods of chasing girls were amazing. As long as he could learn, then he would definitely be able to pursue one. For a beauty, for more strength and energy in bed in the future, he was willing to put down his face. What was the big deal about putting down his face? That Liao Zhibong was beaten up, and he was considered okay. And just like that, the movie was finished in less than 2 hours. Needless to say, it was very good, and there were many good reviews. Then they all left the theater. You said that the male lead returned to his planet, but what about his girlfriend on his previous planet? Linging also asked curiously. Because of the finale, the male lead returned to his original planet, but it didn't say where his girlfriend would go on this planet, leaving a sad atmosphere and room for imagination. Sometimes imperfection is perfection. This was the common trait of those television dramas and movies. This is to give us room for imagination. There are countless possibilities. Let's see how we think. As a man, if it were you under such circumstances, there's someone you love on another planet, and there's also someone you love on this planet. You've been working hard to return to your original planet. If you could go back, would you make the same choice? What a joke. We all love each other deeply. Even if I go back, I'll take the person I love on this planet with me. Lin Xian said. But what if it's like in the movie, and you can't take her away? Lin Xian. How can there be such a hypothesis? Okay, let's not talk about this. Lin Xian suddenly realized that the setting of this movie was similar to his. He even panicked for a moment. He had always wanted to work hard to go back, but he had never thought about what would happen if he could go back. But Ling Ying and the others couldn't. He didn't want to think about this problem, so he chose to avoid it. Chapter 655. Ling Ying pouted. Chushua, look, all men are like this, tisk. Han Chushua nodded. Lin Xian. Hey, you two can't team up to deal with me. You two have to protect me, love me, and protect me, Lin Xian said, feeling wronged. Aren't you saying it the other way around? Ling Ying rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. Hee, let's go, what do you want to eat? Lin Xian knew that Wang Haiyang and the others were still following them, so he didn't hug Ling Ying and Han Chushua. However, they probably wouldn't let Lin Xian hug them alone. This was inevitable, but if they were in a place with no one around, they would probably give up half-heartedly. So, when the relationship between best friends reaches a certain level, for example, the two of them, it was really a good thing. Why would other people's best friends tear each other apart? Their relationship wasn't good. On the surface it looked so good, but in reality, it was just like that. Moreover, most of them didn't know each other for long. The frequency of girls changing their best friends was unimaginable. It was really different from guys. Of course, it wasn't absolute. However, Han Chushua and Ling Ying were different. They weren't just best friends. They played together since they were young, and didn't have many friends. It was just the two of them who understood each other, and thought for each other. Sharing a man, this was a true best friend. You're treating, Ling Ying said. Of course, eat as much as you want. Then her beautiful eyes flashed with a sly light. You said it. Of course. Then Ling Ying looked around and asked Han Chushua. Is that okay? Han Chushua looked around and nodded. Anything is fine. Then Ling Ying pointed in a direction and said to Lin Xian. There, that hotel. Lin Xian looked over. 5-star hotel. Then we might as well go to Rose Heaven, Lin Xian said. Why? They looked at Lin Xian curiously. Rose Paradise is also a 5-star hotel. How bad can their cooking skills be? All right. Lin Xian smirked. Rose Heaven was a famous hotel for couples. The atmosphere at Rose Heaven was different from other 5-star hotels. The music, decorations, and ambience were all suitable for couples. This was also a way to stimulate a girl's hormones. Who knows, maybe they wouldn't have to leave Rose Heaven that night. Then, the two women didn't know about Lin Xian's bad idea. They simply took a taxi and went to Rose Heaven with Lin Xian. Wang Haiyang, who was behind him, naturally brought a few people with him. He wanted to see what these people could do tonight. When he saw the car stop in front of Rose Heaven, he was stunned. Rose Paradise? Couple hotel? They? It couldn't be, right? F***CK. Young Master Wang, what's up with these three people? They've entered Rose Heaven. Rose Heaven is a couple hotel. Even ordinary people know this. Ling Ying and the others must know this too. They couldn't have been tricked by that kid. Could it be? Could it be? Shut up. Wang Haiying's expression was ugly. That's right. Everyone knew that Rose Heaven was a couple hotel. Why would they follow them in? No, he had to know what was going on. Let's go in and see what's going on. Then he brought the three people in. Is there a total of 3 people? A beautiful waitress smiled and walked towards Lin Xian and the others. She was stunned by Han Chuxue and Ling Ying. She didn't know how many couples came to eat at Rose Heaven every day. She had seen too many girls, but girls of this level were really rare. Couples were common, and she had seen many couples. Then the girl brought her best friend. This was quite common, so she wasn't surprised by the 3 of them. Yes. Do you want a private room? Lin Xian thought for a moment and smiled. No need for a private room. The hall is fine. Over there. Okay, please take a seat. Han Chuxue asked curiously, why don't you want a private room? To be honest, they still didn't like to eat in such a crowded hall, because the gazes of those men would indeed affect them. Moreover, they hated being hit on. They didn't know how many times they were hit on every day. They were used to it. But it was annoying to experience it too much. It's annoying. Lin Xian smiled. Okay. Han Chuxue also understood the meaning of Lin Xian's words. She looked at the door from the corner of her eyes. Those people had indeed come in, but they were already seated. May I ask? You 4. The beautiful waitress who had just served Lin Xian and the others was slightly surprised when she saw the 4 men come in. It wasn't that she hadn't seen such a scene before. Most of them were girls, but they were best friends. Who knew if they were? Anyway, there were guests. If they weren't a couple, why couldn't they eat? She had never seen a couple of men, especially 2 couples. The hall over there. Hurry up. Wang Haiying pointed in a direction and said. From this position, they could see Lin Xian's situation. But it was difficult to see them from that direction. What I mean is, are the 4 of you a couple? Rose Heaven's couple dining is free of charge. Wang Haiying. No. We're just here to eat. Understand? F***CK. He was already in a bad mood. And now he was being treated as gay. Understood, understood. Please take a seat. The beautiful waitress wiped her forehead. She shouldn't have asked. Even if they were, they definitely wouldn't admit it. She was so stupid. If she knew, she wouldn't have asked. At this time, another beautiful waitress came. Can you 3 order now? Lin Xian nodded and said. Just bring the most expensive food here. Remember, it's not the most popular, it's the most expensive. Not only the beautiful waitress, but also Ling Ying and Han Chuxue were stunned. What was he up to this time? Sir, the most expensive food here is the world's top ingredients. For example, caviar. A spoonful is 30,000 yuan. Then half a catty first. The beautiful waitress. Just kidding. How can I eat that? Just 2 taels will be enough. 2 taels. That's hundreds of thousands. And the rest? Just bring it. Do you think I'm going to go back on my word? Yes. Right, 2 bottles of red wine, the most expensive kind. Please wait a moment. Then the beautiful waitress hurried away. I say, Big Boss Lin, you're rich. Even if you're rich, you don't have to be so generous. Ling Ying rolled his eyes at Lin Xian. Yeah, it's a waste of money. Han Chuxue also said faintly. Lin Xian smiled and said, don't worry, someone will pay for it. Chapter 656. Ling Ying and Han Chuxue's faces were filled with suspicion. Someone would pay. Who would come and pay for nothing? They were very smart, but it was hard for them to think of this. Could it be? They silently glanced at Wang Haiying in the back seat. Was it him? But he was obviously following them. Why would he come and pay? It felt impossible. How can you be so sure? Ling Ying asked. Lin Xian smiled. Guess. Bastard, that's what I hate the most. Ling Ying angrily glared at Lin Xian. Lin Xian shrugged his shoulders. Do you want to bet? Ling Ying and Han Chushua looked at each other. The two girls felt that Lin Xian's words were a bit ridiculous. He obviously came to follow them. And then he said they came to meet him. Okay, that was possible. But why would he pay for you? This was Lin Xian's understanding of men as a man. Girls like them definitely wouldn't understand. His methods of picking up girls had definitely convinced this Wang Haiyang. Now he must be thinking of learning from him. But how could he learn from him? A bootlicker. A bootlicker. Moreover, he could coincidentally meet Ling Ying and Han Chushua. According to a man's idea, if Lin Xian was him, he would come. At worst, he would lose the bet. After all, they were on the same side. Let's bet. Ling Ying wouldn't admit defeat to Lin Xian. Lin Xian then looked at Han Chushua. Han Chushua nodded. Okay. Let's bet then. What are we betting on? Ling Ying asked. Lin Xian smiled and said, Tell me, what will you do if I lose? Ling Ying and Han Chushua tilted their heads and pondered. Now that this guy needs to cook for us, what do we need him for? Ling Ying asked Han Chushua. How about, if he loses, he can't play with other girls for a week? Han Chushua asked softly. Lin Xian. Hey, little Chushua, you've changed. You've become bad. Lin Xian said to Han Chushua, feeling wronged. Han Chushua's small face blushed, and she slightly tidied up the loose hair on her forehead. Ling Ying's beautiful eyes lit up. Alright, that's it. Then she looked at Lin Xian and said, You lost. You can only play with us for a week. You can't play with the other girls or take them to the movies or anything. Is it feasible? Of course, they knew that Lin Xian always took other girls out to play. Although there was no evidence, they knew in their hearts that maybe this Lin Xian had other girlfriends other than them. However, they pretended not to know. It was best not to let them know. Although they might have guessed it, as long as they didn't meet them, they would turn a blind eye. Lin Xian gritted his teeth, looking like he was in a dilemma. He wasn't stupid, and he knew that these two girls weren't stupid either. Lin Xian definitely knew that they knew what he was like outside, whether he had other female friends that he was on good terms with, or even if they were his girlfriends. But this was what made Lin Xian love them more. They were very tolerant. Seeing Lin Xian's dilemma, Ling Ying and Han Chushua knew that he wasn't as confident as he appeared to be, so they were sure to win. Okay, then let's bet. Lin Xian gritted his teeth and nodded, looking at them and saying. The two girls' beautiful eyes lit up, and they revealed a trace of a smile. He jumped into the hole he dug himself, right? What about you guys? If I win, what price are you willing to pay? Lin Xian asked. Tell us. Lin Xian thought for a moment, acting like he had never thought about it before. In fact, he thought about it every day. Otherwise, why would he bring them to Rose Heaven for dinner? How about this, if you lose, then we won't go home tonight. The two girls. Bastard. They subconsciously thought of something. This bastard was actually thinking about this kind of thing? Hey, what are you thinking about? I mean, let's just get a room in Rose Heaven and play poker, okay? I haven't played poker in a long time, and I'll play all night. Since I lost, I'll have to spend a lot of money for tonight's dinner, so I want to win it back from you guys. Is there a problem? The two girls looked at each other, then thought for a moment. They felt that this Lin Xian had that kind of bad idea, but he seemed to be quite sincere. Moreover, so what if they were in the same room? Would they be bullied by him? Moreover, Lin Xian had made it very clear that he would play poker for an entire night. Then there was no need to worry. She would play with him, and let him feel despair. She would lose her hard-earned money again, and let him hook up with other young ladies outside every day. Okay, then let's do it. Lin Xian's lips curled. Although that was what he said, once the three of them entered the room, and went to bed to play poker, then could they really play for the whole night? By then, wouldn't he be able to do whatever he wanted? At this time, the dishes were all served. Not to mention other things, just by looking at the dishes, one could tell that it was the taste of money. The three of you, this is 1982 Farah, a bottle of 140,000 yuan. The beautiful waitress said the price first. What if they couldn't afford it? However, although the boys' clothes were relatively ordinary, and the total cost was only 1,000 yuan, the two girls were really beautiful and elegant. They should be able to afford it, right? Well, the most expensive one, Lin Xian asked. And the one that costs 320,000 yuan a bottle. Then give me the one that costs 320,000 yuan a bottle. Take this bottle away and exchange it. Ah, okay. Ling Ying rolled his eyes at Lin Xian. That's right, for Big Boss Lin who earns 1 billion yuan a day. A table of dishes that cost a few million yuan is nothing, right? Ling Ying said. Of course, the main thing is that someone is paying. TCH, you mean you're sure to win? Lin Xian shrugged his shoulders. More accurately, go by poker. Pfft. Han Qishua laughed. Oh, you're still laughing. I'll remember it. You used to be very good to me, but now you've become bad. Lin Xian glared at Han Qishua. Han Qishua silently lowered her small head and ate the delicious food. This is the taste of money, it's just SOSO. Lin Xian ate a spoonful of caviar and felt the bursting feeling in his mouth. This spoonful was worth tens of thousands yuan. Things are precious when they're rare. The taste may not be good, but it's rare and high-end. The rest is just SOO. Han Qishua and Ling Ying cut the foie gras together. And this foie gras, how expensive do you think a goose is? A few hundred yuan? Why does a piece of foie gras cost a few thousand yuan? Lin Xian shook his head and swallowed it directly. The two girls. This taste is okay. Lin Xian nodded. Geese may not be expensive, but the geese that make foie gras are specially bred. The cost seems to be quite high, not the geese raised on ordinary farms. Han Qishua said to Lin Xian. Chapter 657. Lin Xian didn't understand. Everyone in the upper class ate the same dishes. Anyway, he didn't know how much money he was cheated. However, Lin Xian still liked home-cooked food. But it didn't matter if he occasionally ate high-end food. Anyway, someone would pay for him today. If there wasn't, then he could just eat whatever he wanted. Soon, the 320,000 bottle of red wine was served. The lobby manager personally ran over. When he saw Lin Xian, he wiped his sweat. This wasn't good. Wasn't this person his boss's friend? They seemed to have a good relationship. Then should he take the money? He definitely had to take the money. After all, this meal was too expensive. But what if his boss found out about it? What if his boss didn't want to take the money? Therefore, he was in a dilemma. However, he still had to do his job well and take the money first. Young Master Lin, is the food delicious? The lobby manager asked with a smile. The taste of money is of course delicious. Ling Ying rolled his eyes at Lin Xian helplessly. He actually couldn't refute what Lin Xian said. It seemed to be quite reasonable. Anyway, expensive food was good. Then enjoy your meal. About an hour later, they were almost done eating. The main event was tonight's poker game in the room. That Wang Haiyang wasn't in the mood to eat this meal. He had all kinds of thoughts in his mind. Basically, a meal in a 5-star hotel wouldn't cost much, unless you ordered something very expensive. However, even if it was tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands, it wouldn't matter. With his capital, it was too easy. He thought for a while and decided to strike. He glanced at the other side and saw that they were almost done eating. If he went out at this time, firstly, he could strike up a conversation with Han Qishua. Secondly, he could be the one to pay. He was also willing. There were two benefits. First, he could save Lin Xian a sum of money. This way, wouldn't they become friends? Moreover, he might not need to spend too much money. Then he could learn from this Lin Xian. Secondly, he could show them that he was generous and rich in front of them. Showing off himself, killing two birds with one stone, he definitely had to do it. Oh right, there's one more thing. Ling Ying suddenly said. What? That's our bet. That Wang Haiyang must take the initiative to pay for you. You can't use words to bewitch him. Otherwise, you'll be considered shameless. Ling Ying also suddenly thought of this. This Lin Xian was quite eloquent. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to deceive so many girls. She and Han Qishua were both fooled. Wow, you're too ruthless, Lin Xian said, feeling wronged. In any case, you can't go back on your word. Alright. I promise you, alright? This time, Ling Ying felt that victory was in his hands. You want to flirt with other big sisters? He was thinking too much. Cough cough. Lin Xian and the others were chatting when Wang Haiyang walked over and coughed dryly. Their gazes shifted over to him. F***ck. Ling Ying grumbled in his heart. This guy really came? But if they came, so be it. Why should he pay for them? Anyway, Lin Xian couldn't take the initiative to say anything. I didn't expect to meet you here. What a coincidence. Wang Haiyang said with a smile. Yeah, it's quite a coincidence. Lin Xian said. How could it not be a coincidence? You followed me all the way. It must be a coincidence. What a pity. If only I saw you earlier. We could have had a meal together. Wang Haiyang said with a little frustration. After that, he casually sat on the seat next to Han Chuxue. Isn't this a couple's hotel? Master Wang, did you come with your girlfriend? Lin Xian asked with a smile. Wang Haiyang said with a smile. Of course not. I don't have a girlfriend. Chuxue, you should know very well, right? He asked Han Chuxue. Han Chuxue nodded politely. After all, he was pursuing Han Chuxue. Naturally, he didn't have a girlfriend. Then Wang Haiyang said. I came with a few friends. They are all male friends. Oh, over there. Who said that couples can't eat in a couple's hotel? I heard that some of the dishes here are very famous. So I brought my friends here to eat. The taste is really good. The 2 bottles of red wine Lin Xian ordered were placed at their feet. Anyway, Wang Haiyang couldn't see it. Lin Xian ate most of the food, so he couldn't tell what he was eating. Anyway, it was fine as long as he didn't see the wine. He definitely knew how much the wine was. When he saw the wine, he would know how much it cost. Then, he wouldn't be willing to pay if it was too expensive. That's really a pity. We've also finished eating. Now we're ready to leave. Lin Xian said. Wang Haiyang smiled and said, just in time. I've also just finished eating. How about this? I'll pay with your table. Ling Ying. Han Chuxue. To be honest, the 2 girls were dumbfounded. They even thought that Lin Xian had colluded with Wang Haiyang. Was this person an idiot? Why did he want to pay for others? Isn't that too embarrassing? Lin Xian looked a little hesitant. What's wrong with that? It's only right to pay for beautiful girls. Also, Junior Lin Xian, you've just entered St. Brilliant Academy. As your senior, I have to do my duty as a senior, right? Let's just say it like this. I'll pay. Lin Xian, if you fight with me, then you're not giving me face. Okay. Then I'll give you face. Sorry to trouble you. No problem. Then, Wang Haiyang snapped his fingers. Waiter, the bill. The lobby manager hurried over. Wang Haiyang said, calculate the bill for that table and this table together. Okay, please wait a moment. Soon, the lobby manager came over with a calculator. Hello. The total bill for the 2 tables is 2,313,800 yuan. After rounding it off, the total is 2,300,000. PFFF. Wang Haiyang just took the cup of tea that Lin Xian poured for him and directly spat it out. What? How much did you say? 2,300,000? Wang Haiyang was dumbfounded. Yes. How much for my table? That table is 11,000 yuan. Gulp. Wang Haiyang swallowed a mouthful of saliva. He was different from the Liao family. The Liao family had a big family business, and his family business was also quite big. However, he couldn't do it to such a big extent. Although he could take out more than 2 million yuan, it wasn't a small amount. The 3 of them ate 2,200,000 yuan worth of food? Senior, is there a problem? It seems like we ate quite a lot. If there's no other way, I'll pay for it myself. Senior, you can pay for yourself. Lin Xian said at this time. Han Chuxue and Ling Ying secretly shook their heads. Don't you think you're committing a sin? Why did you have to pay for them? Isn't that a sin? You asked for it. You even caused them to lose a bet. F***ck. Big idiot. Chapter 658. He had already boasted in front of the girl he liked. If he went back on his word now, his image would be completely ruined. Ahem, it's fine. It's only 2 million. It's nothing. Wang Haiyang then handed over his bank card. His heart ached. Generous. Senior is indeed senior. I believe that with senior's generosity, you will definitely find a very beautiful girlfriend. Lin Xian gave Wang Haiying a thumbs up. Wang Haiying forced a smile on his face. Hello, this is your receipt. The lobby manager handed the receipt to Wang Haiying. Wang Haiying hurriedly took a look. What the F***ck? A bottle of red wine worth 320,000 yuan? And a bottle of 140,000 yuan? What the F***ck? Caviar cost 200,000 yuan? What the F***ck? Top-notch black truffle cost 80,000 yuan? What the F***ck? He had never drunk such an expensive red wine before. What the F***ck? Hello, this is the red wine you packed. The beautiful waitress handed Lin Xian a bottle of red wine, worth 320,000 yuan, and handed it to Lin Xian. Thank you. Here's your tip. Lin Xian took out 1,000 yuan tip, and handed it over. Thank you, sir. Wang Haiying was speechless. 2 million yuan, and a 320,000 yuan bottle of red wine, were taken away by him? He spent money to buy wine for him to take away. He vomited. This 320,000 yuan bottle of red wine is not bad. Take it home and drink it slowly. Lin Xian handed a new bottle to Ling Ying. Ling Ying took it without hesitation. Wang Haiying was speechless. He paid for it, and Lin Xian gave it to him? F***ck. Endure. Endure. I must endure. It's fine, it's fine. I made a friend with Lin Xian, and showed my generosity in front of the two girls. It's not a loss, not a loss. Endure. Lin Xian looked at Wang Haiying with a smile and said, Thank you, young Master Wang. If there's a chance in the future, I will definitely treat you to this meal. There will be a chance. How about we go out for a meal tomorrow? Don't worry, I'll treat you. You can treat me later, okay? He had to build a good relationship with Lin Xian tomorrow, and learn how to pick up girls from him. He definitely couldn't do it now. After all, there were still two girls here. Lin Xian smiled. Sure. Since young Master Wang is so enthusiastic, I'll definitely give you face. But tomorrow, we won't come to such a good place. We'll just eat casually. I can't let young Master Wang spend money. Wang Haiying nodded and cursed in his heart. Damn it, he had already spent a lot of money. Then let's go out and play now? Wang Haiying asked. Lin Xian looked at the time and said, No, it's late. It's going to be late at night. It's getting late. Young Master Wang, why don't you go back first? I'll have a chat with them. Lin Xian said. Wang Haiying. F***ck. Was he still chasing him away now? F***ck your mother. If he did not teach him a lesson, he would kill this B****starred. Chat. What can you chat about? Okay, then I'll go back first. Alright, Chushua, this is a small gift I bought for you on the way. Please accept it. Wang Haiying handed a small box to Han Chushua. It's okay. Han Chushua politely declined. Just accept it. It's young Master Wang's goodwill. Lin Xian then snatched it for Han Chushua, and put it in her hand. She didn't want a free gift. Wouldn't that be a loss? This small box seemed to contain necklaces and earrings. The gift he gave definitely wouldn't be cheap. It could be sold for some money. Han Chushua. Wang Haiying was extremely satisfied. It seemed that Lin Xian understood his intentions, and was helping him chase Han Chushua. In the past, he had given her many gifts but was rejected by Han Chushua. This time, with Lin Xian's help he succeeded. This 2 million was not spent in vain. As long as he could chase Han Chushua, he was willing to spend another 2 million. Little did he know, this thing was quickly sold by Lin Xian. This guy was still happy, thinking that Lin Xian was helping him chase girls. He was very satisfied. Poor guy. Han Chushua is going to have sex with the man in front of you tonight, and you're still happy. Then we'll go first. Chushua, sleep early. Alright that. Chushua, can I add you on WeChat? Wang Haiying scratched his head and asked. Han Chushua glanced at Lin Xian. Lin Xian nodded quietly. Yeah, young Master Wang is indeed very thoughtful. I think you should add him on WeChat, right? Then Han Chushua nodded. Okay. Wang Haiying was about to fly to the sky. She actually added him on WeChat. Oh God. Sure enough, it's good to have a wingman when chasing girls. This Han Chushua and Ling Ying were best friends. At this time, Wang Haiying really hoped that Lin Xian could chase Ling Ying. Then, he and Lin Xian would work together, and it would be easier to chase Han Chuxue. Then I'll go first. After that, Wang Haiying left happily. Lin Xian secretly shook his head. Poor guy. Hey, you tricked him. Why did you ask Chuxue to add him? Ling Ying was very unhappy. He glared at Lin Xian. So what if he added her on WeChat? Block him on WeChat, and chat with him occasionally. It's not a loss, Lin Xian said. The main thing was to let him think that he was really awesome. Then he could continue tricking him. The long road of tricking money had just begun. Humph. Lin Xian then opened the small box. Oh wow, this earring is a bit shiny. I guess it can't be bought without 70,000 or 80,000 yuan, right? Isn't there a price tag? 140,000 yuan. Lin Xian then raised the small box in his hand and said, brand new earrings. 140,000 yuan. Now sold for 70,000 yuan. Does anyone want to buy it? 5 minutes later, Wang Haiying's earrings were sold by Lin Xian for 70,000 yuan. It was a miserable batch. That's not very good, right? Han Chuxue couldn't bear it. TSK chasing my woman. This is considered light. Lin Xian said. Han Chushua's small face slightly reddened. My woman. This sentence was very simple, but it had a huge impact on her. Ling Ying was jealous. Let's go to sleep. Apui, let's go play cards. The lobby manager walked over. Do you have any other orders? Lin Xian asked. You do free meals for couples here, right? Yes. Then we spent more than 2 million yuan. Should we get a good room? Do you want to stay here? He was dumbfounded. Lin Xian nodded. Of course it has to be good. Then, he watched dumbfounded as the three of them entered a room. What a god. 3 people? A man and 2 women living together? Damn. The main thing was that these 2 women were so beautiful. This young Master Lin was indeed his boss's friend. He wasn't an ordinary person. He had some skills. He was convinced. At this moment in the room, the 3 of them went to take a shower one by one. Lin Xian happily changed into his pajamas. He didn't want to wear it. Anyway, he would have to strip naked. Chapter 659. The first round began immediately. Lin Xian grabbed the landlord card. Do you want it? Han Chuxue asked. Her cards were better. She actually wanted the landlord card. Anyway, she had already discussed it with Ling Ying. Even if she won the other party's card, she would secretly return it to him. She would only cheat Lin Xian. They didn't care about this little bit of money, but it was a game. That was a different story. It felt like they would be happy if they won 100 yuan. But they would be brooding if they lost 100 yuan. Lin Xian looked at his cards with a hesitant look. Because he grabbed the landlord card. If he didn't want it, then the next player was Han Chuxue. If she also didn't want it, then Ling Ying would choose it. If she still didn't want it, then the deck would be reshuffled. Lin Xian's cards were also very good. If he wanted to win more money, then he would need a bomb. And Han Chuxue actually took the initiative to ask him if he wanted it. Obviously, her cards were good. What kind of cards were good? A bomb. If the cards were going well, then one might not necessarily choose the landlord card. Because there might be 3 useless cards. Then a good deck of cards would become useless. Therefore, Han Chuxue must have a bomb in her hand. Then he would have to trick her to the end. Lin Xian pretended to be in a difficult position to make Han Chuxue think that his cards weren't good. Do you want it? Do you want it? I'm dying of anxiety. Ling Ying's cards were also good. She and Han Chuxue each had a bomb and a king each. They were anxious to win Lin Xian's money. Yes, let's take a gamble and turn a bicycle into a motorcycle. Lin Xian then took the 3 landlord cards. Ling Ying and Han Chuxue exchanged a look. Money was about to start. Lin Xian smiled in his heart. Similarly, money was about to start. Do you believe that you two won't be able to play a single card? Lin Xian asked with a smile. Tisk bragging. You play then. Ling Ying rolled her eyes. Airplane. Lin Xian directly played a series of cards. The 2 girls of course chose no. Company. Lin Xian threw out another pile of cards. He still had 4 cards in his hand. And these 4 cards were a bomb. That's right, this round of cards was just that smooth. How many more? Ling Ying was a little flustered. He was almost done with the 2 rounds. I'm not telling you. It's not the time to announce the number of cards, Lin Xian said mysteriously. Then the two of them flipped through it. 16 cards. He still has 4 cards left. Han Chushua said. 4. Don't tell me they're bombs. Ling Ying muttered. Impossible, impossible. It can't be that easy. Ling Ying glanced at Lin Xian. Lin Xian had a smug look on his face. Keep pretending, keep pretending. This old lady doesn't believe that you're a bomb. It's definitely a 3-man team. Bomb. I'll bomb you. Then Lin Xian's face fell. No. Ha ha ha. Pfft. Ling Ying and Han Chushua laughed. It really wasn't a bomb. They were almost fooled by him. Did you see that? I'm so smart. You still want to trick me? Ling Ying had a proud look. Then, she and Han Chushua played a round of cards. Lin Xian didn't want any of them. It gave them the feeling that this must be a 3-man team. Pour a cup of cappuccino for Chushua. Whether there's a bomb or not, just blow it up. He doesn't want a single card or a pair. His cards must be very small. Then Han Chushua threw out a bomb without hesitation. These 2 bombs added an additional 20,000 yuan to the total. Awesome. Lin Xian's lips curled up. Ling Ying looked at Lin Xian provocatively. Then, she suddenly saw the smile on Lin Xian's lips. She suddenly felt that something was wrong. Chuchushua, what cards haven't you played? I haven't played a queen. Then, bomb. Lin Xian threw out 4 queens. The 2 girls. Ha ha ha. Give me money. Ha ha ha. Lin Xian's laughter was too annoying. Ha ha ha. Why aren't you laughing? Weren't you laughing very happily just now? Didn't you want to bomb? Continue. Ha ha ha. Lin Xian said with a smile. Ling Ying pouted. F***ck. It's a trap. It's all a trap. Han Chushua was also helpless. This bastard actually played such a trick. He purposely left the bombs for them to add money. 3 bombs, 40,000 each. Give me money. I don't accept it. Ling Ying kicked Lin Xian's leg. Of course it didn't hurt. Your IQ is worrying. Don't say you don't accept it. Give me money. Then the 2 girls each sent a big red packet of 40,000 in the group. Of course it was peanuts to them. Even an earring or a necklace would cost at least 6 digits. Lin Xian received a red packet. When he opened the second red packet he realized. F***ck. It was taken. Then Miao Xiaomiao sent a moving picture. A little person holding a red packet kowtowed and thanked the boss. Lin Xian. It was taken by Xiaomiao. Ling Ying couldn't help but laugh. Then, Lin Xian quickly typed. Miao Xiaomiao, give me the red packet. Miao Xiaomiao sent a despising picture and sent out the red packet. Lu Yufan. Why are you sending red packets in the group in the middle of the night? Another night owl joined the group chat. Linya. Little Xian, where are you playing? Another person joined the group. On the other side several girls were peeping. Ling Ying. We're playing cards. The loser will send a red packet in the group. You can't snatch it, cute emoji. Lin Xian shuddered. Look at you. You're so gentle in the group. You even added a cute emoji. Little did you know. Little did you know what? Ling Ying glared at him. Little did you know that you're even gentler in front of your phone. Lin Xian, who had a strong desire to survive, said. That's more like it. Ling Ying raised his little head proudly. Linglong Shui. Can I play with you? That's right. This virtual stage big shot was trying to join the conversation. Lin Xian. F***ck, you're still awake. Also, I won't play with you. Thanks. Linglong Shui. Delete friend. Lin Xian. Lu Yufan. Serves you right. Yee. You guys are so good. Giving out 80,000 in one go, shocked emoji. Linya. Little Xian, you guys play less. It's just for fun. Lin Xian. Don't worry. I'm the one who wins. I'll buy a bunch of delicious food for you when I get home. Linya. Then they chatted in the group for about half an hour before stopping. After all, it was really late. After that, Xiao Runing and Wang Xintong also appeared. Only Linglong Shui and Linglong Shui didn't appear. After all, the 3 of them were together. Lin Xian guessed that the 2 girls were together with Linglong Shui, looking at the content of the conversation on their phones. Let's continue. Putting away his phone, Lin Xian and the others continued playing cards. Drink some red wine. Isn't it interesting to play cards while drinking? Lin Xian ran over and opened the bottle of red wine that cost 320,000. Did you see that? I didn't guess wrong, right? Ling Ying whispered to Han Shushue. Han Shushue nodded. Are we drinking or not? Let's drink. Are you afraid of him? We can see what this bastard is up to. Chapter 660. Ling Ying and Han Shushue went to take a shower together. They were afraid that if one of them went to take a shower while the other was with Lin Xian, they would definitely be bullied to death by him. Therefore, the two of them still chose to take a shower together. But Lin Xian didn't care. One was bullying, two was also bullying. Bullying all of them together was more fun. Tell me, what could the three of them do in their pajamas when the lights in the room were turned off, and the three of them finished showering? What could they do? Plus, they had already done something. It wasn't hard to guess what they would do. Were these two girls naive enough to think that they wouldn't do anything? At this moment in the bathroom, the two girls were sincerely looking at each other. Han Shushue was helping Ling Ying wipe her fair back. Shushue, do you think that bastard Lin Xian is plotting something? I have a feeling that it's not as simple as he said. Obviously, the three of them together might not seem like anything to them. But if they were to think about it from the perspective of a man, a normal man, this Lin Xian definitely didn't have good intentions. Han Shushue nodded. Probably. The two girls were also a bit strange. They clearly felt that Lin Xian didn't have good intentions, but they still agreed. What kind of logic was this? But he might not dare, right? Han Shushue said again. Is there anything he doesn't dare to do? Why don't you think about what he asked me to bring? A bottle of red wine worth 320,000 yuan. The alcohol content of this red wine isn't low either. Ling Ying's beautiful eyes flashed with a sly light. Han Shushue, I bet you that he will definitely ask us to drink later. Do you believe me? Sure enough, Ling Ying understood Lin Xian better. Probably. I don't believe that this bastard doesn't have any ulterior motives. I won't let him get away with it. Ling Ying then walked out of the bathtub and pushed Han Shushue in. Now I'll help you wipe it. Don't tickle me. Ha ha ha. Perhaps this was the scene that Lin Xian wanted to see even in his dreams. Unfortunately, he couldn't see it. However, the laughter coming from the bathroom was really unbearable. After about 20 minutes, the two girls came out in bathrobes. Logically speaking, this scene was simply too beautiful. Ling Ying was a bit more magnanimous and didn't seem to mind. On the other hand, Han Shushue, who was usually cold and elegant, blushed slightly and was a bit reserved. Girls like her were very cold. But if you could win her heart, then you would be able to see things that no one else could. Hey, you blinked. Ling Ying glared at Lin Xian. He didn't know if this guy was looking at him longer, or at Han Shushue. Girls were all like this. Lin Xian coughed dryly. Shushue and I are going to change into our pajamas. You can go in and take a shower. Ling Ying said. Alright, I'll go. Then Lin Xian ran into the bathroom. Smells good. Lin Xian's voice of enjoyment could be heard. Pervert. Ling Ying muttered, and then changed into pajamas with Han Shushue. After 5 minutes, Lin Xian came out. The speed at which the boy and the girl took their showers was obvious. The former seemed to be enjoying it while the latter seemed to be coping with it. The moment Lin Xian came out, there were 2 screams. This person didn't even have time to see clearly before 2 pillows were thrown at him. Pervert. Pervert. The 2 girls said one after another, their little faces completely red. Because Lin Xian, this guy, F***ck. Lin Xian awkwardly scratched his head. Hurry up and go back. Ling Ying clenched her teeth. This person was really strange. The more shy she was, the more she wanted to peek. Lin Xian awkwardly said, There are only 2 bathrobes. This is a couple's suite. Everything is for 2 people. Both of you are wearing it, but I don't have it. What can I do? Lin Xian said, feeling wronged. Take it away. Then Ling Ying threw the bathrobe she was wearing to Lin Xian, covering Lin Xian's entire body. It smells good. The 2 girls. How did they fall in love with this bastard? There were so many good men in the world, and they just happened to fall in love with this one. They even wanted to share him with other girls. Ah. Then Lin Xian walked out with the bathrobe wrapped around him. There were no pajamas, so Lin Xian could only wrap himself in the bathrobe and jump onto the bed. Han Xuxue and Ling Ying, the two lighter girls, almost flew up. They couldn't help but roll their eyes. Play cards, play cards, play cards. Lin Xian snapped his fingers, looking like he was about to start a war. Han Xuxue and Ling Ying were both stunned. Looking at Lin Xian's excited expression, he couldn't possibly be here purely to play cards, right? It can't be, right? Logically speaking, it shouldn't be. But wasn't he a bit too excited? Inexplicably, the two girls were actually a bit disappointed. How could you guess a woman's thoughts? What do you want to play? Ling Ying took out the poker cards and asked while shuffling them. The simplest game, fight the landlord. How do you calculate the money? Ling Ying asked. Lin Xian thought for a bit and said, you two are also fair, rich, and beautiful, right? Nonsense, authentic, fair, rich, and beautiful. Anyway, the two of them didn't lack money, and what Lin Xian had was theirs. And what they had was also Lin Xian's. It was just for fun. Moreover, playing cards was just a cover. Once they got high, what couldn't they do? Then 5,000 yuan each. Double the bomb. Double the face cards. Double the face cards. Can you afford it? How about 10,000? Ling Ying said generously. Lin Xian. Amazing, even more amazing than him. Okay, 10,000 it is. Looks like I can become a millionaire tonight. Lin Xian rubbed his hands and said, Humph. Ling Ying smiled disdainfully. Ling Ying and I aren't bad at playing cards. Han Xuxue said. In the past, they would be very bored and would often play cards. In fact, the most common card they played was not this kind of card, but there was a Happy Do Diju game on their phones. There would be a total of 3 people playing in the game, which was quite interesting. Therefore, of course, they had the skills, but they were definitely not too good. Then don't cry when you lose money later. Lin Xian smiled and took out his phone. But a bomb plus 10,000, don't double it. Okay, let's create a group, and prepare to send red packets. Then they entered a group. This was a group that all of them were in. In addition to the 3 of them, there was also Linya, Xiao Runing, Miao Xiao Miao, Wang Xintong, Lu Yufan, and Yi Yi. Later, Linya pulled Morong Qing into the group. Oh right, Ling Long Shui and the other 2 were also in the group. In short, Lin Xian was the only man, and the others were all girls related to Lin Xian. Most of them were top-grade beauties, and most of them were pulled in by Lin Xian. It could be considered a family group. However, they didn't chat too much in the group. Lin Xian also rarely took the initiative to initiate discussions, because he was afraid that the conversation would break down. Chapter 661. Then of course they got what they wanted. The 3 of them drank the entire bottle of red wine. Because this type of red wine had been brewed for a long time, its alcohol content was indeed getting higher and higher. Moreover, the most powerful thing was the after effect. Once the after effect kicked in, the 2 girls' pretty faces were flushed. As for winning or losing in the game of cards, it was no longer important to Lin Xian. He deliberately lost some money to make them happy, and it was indeed effective. It was already 3 in the morning. To be honest, after playing for a few hours, they felt that it wasn't very interesting anymore. Moreover, they felt dizzy. Ling Ying didn't use his spirit force to dissolve the alcohol, because he wanted to see what Lin Xian was up to. It was difficult to pretend to be drunk, so they simply drank until they were a bit drunk. After finishing that bottle, they drank another one. When the after effect kicked in, they really did feel dizzy. I'm not playing anymore, I'm going to sleep. Ling Ying yawned. He was so sleepy that he completely forgot what he wanted to do. Then, he wrapped himself in a blanket and fell asleep. Han Xuxue was much better than Ling Ying. Ling Ying could be said to be impetuous and brainless, but Han Xuxue was much better. Little Xuxue, Ling Ying is asleep. Let's do something else. Although Han Xuxue was cold, she was the type of person who was incomparably accommodating to Lin Xian. I drank too much, let's sleep. Han Xuxue bit her lips and said softly, okay, let's sleep. Lin Xian threw the poker cards on the ground and hugged Han Xuxue. Han Xuxue. As expected, this Lin Xian didn't have good intentions. However, Ling Ying was asleep, and she didn't know how to refuse. This Ling Ying was even more unreliable than Lin Xian. Just now, he said that he wanted to see what Lin Xian was up to. How did he fall asleep? That night, Lin Xian received tens of millions of Adonis points. Although she was his girlfriend, if the three of them did it together, this kind of behavior still gave Lin Xian a lot of Adonis points. Ling Ying really drank too much and underestimated the aftereffects of the wine. When she was particularly muddle-headed, she didn't think of using spiritual energy to get rid of the drunkenness. Her subconscious action was to sleep, so she lost to herself, helping Lin Xian achieve his goal. What was this called? He had shot himself in the foot and dug a hole for himself. What about Lin Xian? There was no need to say anything else. One word, comfortable. The next morning, Lin Xian slept soundly. Even the drunk Ling Ying woke up, and his first reaction was, oh no. Why was she so sleepy? Then, she sat up and looked at everything around her. Then she started to doubt her life. She hit her head and looked at Lin Xian, who was sleeping soundly. His big hand was not obedient on Han Chushua's body. She really wanted to slap him and wake him up. But Ling Ying sighed and then lay down quietly. It was already like this. What else could she do? Just sleep. Anyway, she wasn't awake yet. Lin Xian was really in a deep sleep. He was exhausted last night. Moreover, Lin Xian was in a deep sleep. He was not alert at all, and did not release any divine sense. To put it simply, if an ordinary person sneaked in and killed Lin Xian, he would probably die in his sleep. The main thing was that it was too comfortable. Lin Xian also enjoyed this rare peaceful time. For example, at home, when he slept with Linya, he had to be more vigilant. But when he slept with them, he inexplicably felt that they were also very powerful. There shouldn't be any big problems, right? Moreover, this was Morongqing's territory. Morongqing always stayed at the top floor of Rose Heaven, in a huge room that belonged only to her. With her around, no one would dare to be presumptuous here, right? At this moment, there was a knock on Morongqing's room. The lobby manager brought a few beautiful women to deliver breakfast to her. Just send it in. Morongqing put on her clothes and sat there playing with her phone. She looked at the chat records in the group last night with interest. Last night, she went to bed early, so she did not participate in the chat. President Morong, this is yesterday's sales. The lobby manager respectfully handed over a list. Morongqing casually glanced at it. Oh, who ate more than 2 million yuan at one table last night? This kind of situation was rare. Morongqing was a little interested. Even in Tiandu, it was rare to see such a situation. President Morong, your friend brought people to eat together. My friend? Morongqing frowned and looked at him. Young Master Lin. Morongqing. Lin Xian. The lobby manager nodded. He was very nervous, afraid that Morongqing would blame him for accepting money. But later on another person paid for them. Morongqing rubbed her delicate chin. What kind of girls did Lin Xian bring to eat? Two, both very beautiful. Morongqing. This Lin Xian. Also, they did not leave here last night. Morongqing. You mean the three of them live here? The lobby manager nodded. Okay, I got it. You can leave. Yes. Then, Morongqing's lips curled up slightly, revealing a thought-provoking smile. This Lin Xian is really something. He brought two beautiful girls with him? And in the same room? She wanted to see who it was. In the room, Ling Ying and Han Chushua had already showered and put on their clothes. The two girls did not talk much, because they did not know what to talk about. Lin Xian also woke up. He scratched his head and looked at the Prince Charming points. He was very satisfied. Let's go, I'm starving. It's time for lunch. Ling Ying and Han Chushua put on their clothes and glared at Lin Xian. They did not mention what happened last night. Although it happened once, this was the second time. But it was so awkward that no one brought it up. My waist hurts. Lin Xian rubbed his waist and said, the two girls. Don't tell me you can't do it? Ling Ying showed a worried expression. That would not do. She would not allow it. Han Chushua also looked at Lin Xian with concern. Ha ha ha, I'm just kidding. My waist is very good. I believe you know it very well. Lin Xian laughed. Get lost. Ling Ying threw a sofa pillow at him. Go go go, it's already noon, let's go for lunch. It was already noon. Lin Xian believed that Morong Qing must have gone to the Art Xian group to work. In the main hall, the three of them sat together for lunch. Lin Xian casually glanced around and suddenly shuddered. Not far from him, there was a beautiful figure sitting there leisurely drinking coffee with a smile on her face. Morong Qing. She also looked over. Not bad. It was actually Ling Ying and Han Chuxue. Chapter 662. From Lin Xian's point of view, Morong Qing was sitting there on purpose. The smile on her lips, when she was drinking the tea, had already explained something. Although he did tell her that these two girls were his girlfriends, it was said in a joking tone. Naturally, Morong Qing did not believe that they were really Lin Xian's girlfriends. If one of them was, there might be a little possibility, but she felt that the possibility was not high. After all, Morong Qing knew the identity of Ling Ying and Han Chuxue. They were the daughters of two of the 8 great families in Tiandu. It could be said that there were countless suitors in Tiandu. If one of them fell in love with Lin Xian, then there was indeed such a possibility. But both of them fell in love with Lin Xian? The possibility was too small, and they even booked a room together. Therefore, Morong Qing felt that there must be some kind of misunderstanding. But she didn't know what it was, so she was very curious. Usually, she would be too lazy to care about such things. She didn't understand why she was so curious when it came to Lin Xian. Isn't that Sister Qing? Ling Ying and the others also saw Morong Qing. Their relationship with Morong Qing was not bad. They met at a banquet, and then fought side by side during the disaster of Tiandu City. Anyway, everyone was in the same group, and there were people in the group who knew each other. Their relationship would not be too bad, mainly because they were Lin Xian's girlfriends. I'll go say hello, you guys eat first. In order to avoid awkwardness, Lin Xian did not let them go over, and then went over alone. Hey beauty, are you lonely? Lin Xian sat next to Morong Qing, and poured himself a cup of tea without hesitation. Morong Qing took a sip, and then looked at Lin Xian. I don't know if I'm lonely or not, but I know that you are definitely not lonely. Cough cough, Lin Xian coughed dryly. If I say that all of this is a misunderstanding, would you believe me? Morong Qing smiled and said. Then tell me first and see if I believe it or not. Lin Xian shrugged and said, the 3 of us were playing cards last night. We played all night. Morong Qing was also Lin Xian's target. She also needed to be captured by Lin Xian. If she really knew that Lin Xian had other girlfriends, how could he capture her? Moreover, Morong Qing's mission was related to the 3rd Department of Commerce, which Lin Xian cared a lot about. From the first shopping center to the second shopping center, there was a huge gap between the items, and the rarer they were. It was obvious that the items in the 3rd shopping center would be scarier than those in the 2nd shopping center. In Lin Xian's opinion, the items in the 2nd shopping center were already heaven-defying. As for the 3rd shopping center, therefore, Lin Xian wouldn't have cared if it wasn't the mission objective. Therefore, he had to explain himself. Really? Morong Qing's lips curled and looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian nodded. Of course. If you don't believe me, take a look at the group. We were chatting in it. We were playing cards, and even sending red packets. Morong Qing nodded. Well, that makes sense. Let me see. The first red packet was sent at midnight. Then we started chatting. After chatting for half an hour, the rest were your red packets. They were sent until 3 o'clock in the morning. That is to say, you guys stopped at 3 o'clock in the morning. Lin Xian. Wow. This woman was too smart. We did. That's because we were afraid that if we posted it in the group, you guys would wake up when you were all asleep. So the 3 of us created a new group, and only the 3 of us posted it in it. Lin Xian secretly praised himself for his quick reaction. He immediately thought of a perfect answer. That's why don't misunderstand. Don't spread rumors. I don't care. What's important is the reputation of the 2 girls. Morong Qing nodded. So we played cards until noon. Also, what about the group you created? Let me see. Lin Xian. It's disbanded. We don't play once in 10,000 years. After playing we disband. What's the point of keeping it? Lin Xian wiped his forehead. Damn. This woman was too smart. Morong Qing was like Lin Xian's wife. Then, she suspected that Lin Xian was fooling around outside and questioned him. She didn't seem to notice the change in her attitude. Morong Qing's lips curled slightly. Although she felt that the possibility was low, the more Lin Xian explained, the more likely it was. Forget it, she didn't care. So what if she knew? Hey, I'm going to work. You guys can have lunch here. I'll get someone to prepare it for you. It's free. My treat. Morong Qing finished speaking and walked away with a smile. Lin Xian breathed a sigh of relief. Many of the things he did were to pave the way for picking up girls in the future. However, if he didn't pave the way, it would be very difficult for him to pick up girls in the future. For example, if Lin Xian were to confess to Xiao Runing and Yi Yi, what do you think the chances of success would be if Lin Xian were to confess to them? Very high. This was the result of Lin Xian's painstaking efforts. Once the mission was triggered, it wouldn't take much effort to complete it. Morong Qing. Lin Xian felt that this woman was a little difficult to deal with. The main thing was that he could also cater to other girls' preferences. Or rather, he could change their moods. Even for Linglong Shui and the others, at least Lin Xian had a chance. Because they weren't familiar with the human world, Lin Xian could take them out to play every day, and then take advantage of them to cultivate their feelings. Over time, he would have a chance to pick them up. However, although Morong Qing wasn't as noble as Linglong Shui, Lin Xian didn't know how to cater to a woman like her. What did she need? What did she want? Lin Xian didn't know these things. Money. She was much richer than Lin Xian now. Power. Sorry, Lin Xian didn't deserve it. Perhaps the only good thing was that she hadn't been in love for so many years. Perhaps she was lonely. If that was the case, then it would be good. However, such a beautiful woman. Even if she was lonely, she could easily find an incomparably outstanding man. Compared to those men, Lin Xian was nothing. Sigh, let's take it one step at a time. Fortunately, there's still plenty of time for Morong Qing's mission. It's just that Xiao Linglong and the others. That was what Lin Xian was most worried about now. The three of them had about the same amount of time. It was fine to pick up one. But to pick up all three girls who lived together at about the same amount of time? This was a F***king hell level of difficulty. Although he had cultivated their favorability, it didn't mean that he would be able to get them. There would definitely be a grudge between them or something. Then Lin Xian walked back. Chapter 663. After Lin Xian finished eating with them, the three of them went to St. Brilliant's Academy together. After all, there really wasn't much to do right now, and they didn't dare to go to the demonic beast territory for the time being. If they were to go together, it would be fine, but Lin Xian didn't agree. Although Han Chuxue and Ling Ying always seemed to be at odds with Lin Xian on the surface, they were still very obedient to Lin Xian. As for the purpose of going to the Sacred Brilliance Academy, to Ling Ying and Han Chuxue, it was to learn new things, or to engage in virtual combat. The virtual combat of the Sacred Brilliance Academy was quite impressive. Like the Tianhua Academy, they could at most simulate arcane body realm beasts, but the Sacred Brilliance Academy could even simulate the strength of Thunder Calamity realm beasts. This required a large amount of resources. In this aspect, the Sacred Brilliance Academy was indeed much better than the Tianhua Academy of the past. They had the strength, and they were two battle maniacs. Since Lin Xian did not allow them to go to the demonic beast domain for the time being, then they would go to virtual combat. They could not play around all the time. In this era, they had to improve themselves non-stop. Lin Xian, when are we going to the demonic beast domain? Ling Ying really wanted to go. Actually, 4 Thunder Tribulation Realm cultivators like her. The demonic beast domain was no longer dangerous. However, accidents were bound to happen, especially at this time. For safety's sake, she couldn't go for the time being. However, it was not that they could not go. After all, they did not necessarily need to go to the demonic beast domain in Tianhua City. Lin Xian said, "Do you want to go?" "I'm suffocating." Ling Ying rubbed her palms together. Lin Xian. I haven't seen you shout in a while. You're suffocating. Get lost. Ling Ying directly swept her leg at Lin Xian, but Lin Xian easily dodged it. Han Chushua also said, We're all in the Thunder Tribulation realm now. The Thunder Tribulation realm is far from enough. I want to advance to the Law realm as soon as possible. The Law realm allows one to comprehend the laws. It's an absolute qualitative leap. Indeed, the birth of a martial artist was accompanied by their attributes. But once a martial artist reached the Law realm, there would be a gap that no other major realm could surpass. Why? It was because of the laws. Once a martial artist reached the law boundary, they would be able to comprehend the laws. Once a martial artist possessed an attribute and a law, the increase in their combat strength would be unimaginable. Of course, this didn't mean that one could obtain a law after reaching the Law realm. One needed to comprehend it. It was possible that even if one reached the Empyrean realm, they still wouldn't have a law because they couldn't comprehend it. This was still relatively difficult, but it was not difficult for people with strong talent and comprehension ability. Most of them would comprehend the power of laws above the 5-star Law realm and gradually become stronger. For example, Lin Xian and the others had encountered the Law realm experts who had come to kill him, but none of them had comprehended the laws. What was this law? You could think of it as another attribute. For example, someone who didn't have the spatial attribute might be able to comprehend the spatial law. However, using the law was definitely much more difficult than using the attribute. In addition to space and time, there might also be something like the law of gravity and the law of flight. That's right, one could directly fly through the air and escape into the ground. In any case, these things all depended on one's own comprehension. Of course, there were also differences in the strength of the laws. Lin Xian also wanted to advance to the Law realm. Comprehending the laws was too important. Therefore, for some martial artists with mediocre attributes of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth, the Law realm was also an opportunity for them to become more powerful. And reaching the domain realm was another natural moat. That's right, as the name implied. Once one reached the domain realm, they would be able to comprehend a domain. Of course, this wasn't absolute. For example, if one comprehended the spatial law and reached the domain realm, one's domain might not necessarily be a spatial effect domain. It might also be time, and one would also need to comprehend it. However, almost 99% of martial artists would have a domain related to their own laws. Of course, the premise was that one had to comprehend a law before they could produce a domain. In short, in the realms of cultivation, the Law realm and domain realm were the two most important realms. It determined what kind of power and how powerful one's combat strength would be in the future. This was also the reason why the difference in combat strength between two celestial venerables of the same star rank could be so great. It was very simple. One of them comprehended the trashiest law and domain, such as a sea of fire, while the other released a domain of death or something like that. This wasn't about the same level of combat strength. Their combat strength might be about the same before, but it was this law and domain that directly made them people of two different worlds. It was very important. Then how about we relax for a night and go together tomorrow night? Lin Xian asked. Alright, how do we relax? Lin Xian's lips curled up. Relax like you did last night. The two women. You. Ling Ying pointed at Lin Xian, so angry that he couldn't speak. Han Chushua's face flushed red. Humph. If the two of you don't serve me well tonight, don't even think about going to the demonic beast domain. Lin Xian said arrogantly. You don't want us to go, so we can't go? I'm not bringing you. Chushua and I will go by ourselves. Ling Ying said angrily. Of course he was just saying that. If Lin Xian didn't let them go, or if Lin Xian wasn't there, they would really listen to Lin Xian. After all, a man's sovereignty still existed. You dare? Lin Xian glared at him. Humph. Afraid of you? Ling Ying glared back at him without the slightest bit of fear. Lin Xian shrugged his shoulders. Alright, I admit defeat, okay? Lin Xian smiled helplessly. Humph. That's more like it. Ling Ying proudly raised his little head. Little did he know that if he was arrogant now, He would be begging for mercy tonight. To Lin Xian, this was also good news. They didn't agree with Lin Xian going alone to harm them, but he did it again last night. If this continued, everyone would slowly get used to it and accept it. And then, that would be Lin Xian's heaven. Then, the three of them chatted as they arrived at St. Brilliance Academy. When the students of St. Brilliance Academy saw this scene, they all stared at each other in shock, completely dumbfounded. Wow. This Lin Xian went to school with Ling Ying and Han Chuxue? Yesterday, they were still on bad terms. Although Lin Xian admitted his mistake, looking at them, it's obvious that they went out to eat and came back together. Damn, this Lin Xian really ate with them? Awesome. What an amazing person. I'm convinced. Saint of Love. This is a King Saint of Love. Everyone exclaimed. Chapter 664. Ling Ying and Han Chuxue didn't care about these opinions. However, when they arrived at St. Brilliance Academy, they would at most remain as friends. Chuxue and I are leaving first, you can go have fun by yourself. Ling Ying finished speaking and walked away with Han Chuxue. This scene was seen by Liao Zhibang from afar. His eyes flashed with ruthlessness. His brother told him not to make a move on Lin Xian, and to leave this matter to him. Moreover, even if he wanted to make a move, he wasn't Lin Xian's opponent, so he could only swallow his anger. F***CK. Lu Jingyi and a few of his lackeys just happened to see this scene and ran over in shock. Master, what's the situation? You guys. Lu Jingyi stammered as he moved to Lin Xian's side. Oh, we just went out for a meal and watched a movie, nothing much. Lin Xian said indifferently. Lu Jingyi. That's? F***CK this. How awesome. Master, can you teach me today? Lu Jingyi asked excitedly. Let's not talk about other things first. And let's not talk about whether or not he could chase after Ling Ying or Han Chuxue. But he was actually able to invite them to a meal and watch a movie under disgusted circumstances. With this method, one couldn't help but admire him. Brother Lu, is this Lin Xian? A lackey asked. Lin, your head. Call me Brother Xian. Lu Jingyi slapped him on the head several times. Brother Xian. Hello, Brother Xian. Lin Xian said to Lu Jingyi. Don't call me master, it's awkward. Then Brother Xian. Lu Jingyi hurriedly called out. Lin Xian coughed and nodded. There was no other way in their hearts, he was a god, a love saint. In order to get more beautiful girls, they admired Lin Xian from the bottom of their hearts. Lin Xian nodded and then said, Didn't I tell you how to pick up girls that day? You haven't done anything yet? Lu Jingyi scratched his head. Isn't it because I don't dare? I've never seen you so cowardly before. Cough. Lu Jingyi coughed dryly and said, Ever since I heard Big Brother Xian talk about how to pick up girls, I realized how stupid I was in the past. Money is useless. Money can't buy true love. And then I will be even more easily scared, wanting to properly pursue a girl. Lin Xian nodded. Good luck. If there's anything you don't understand, come ask me. As for the rest, just do as I told you before. Also, your level isn't high enough, so don't try to use the more difficult methods to avoid backfiring. Also, don't try to chase after girls who are more difficult. Your level isn't high enough. Yes, I understand. Then in Brother Xian's opinion, what kind of girl can I pursue? Lu Jingyi asked piously. That's right, there was a hint of piety in his eyes. This was amazing. Lin Xian said. The school belle isn't hard to chase, but Lu Yufan and the others are all mine, so don't even think about it. As for Ling Ying and the others, their levels are too high, so you won't be able to chase after them. Other than them, the other school belle shouldn't be hard to chase after. Don't chase those cold and aloof ones, those who are a bit younger, 18 or 19 years old. Got it. I want to level up now, I already know what to do. Lin Xian. Didn't this raise a scumbag? No, Lin Xian didn't think that what he said was right. A lot of things seemed to make sense, but they all happened to Lin Xian, and some were even deceiving people. This Lu Jingyi might not be able to do it, so there shouldn't be any problems. Moreover, when two people were in a relationship, They might not like each other very much at the beginning, but normally speaking, they would like each other more and more. This was a situation during a relationship. If he pursued his true love in this way, it would not be a bad thing. Good luck. Lin Xian patted Lu Jingyi's shoulder then walked away. Lu Jingyi secretly clenched his fist, looking like he was very eager to fight. Lin Xian returned to the classroom, and Wang Xintong sat quietly in the corner, reading a book. Her personality was relatively quiet, but it was also a bit of a loner. The reason was probably because of her brother's incident. She preferred to quietly read like this. Because of Lin Xian's incident, she didn't have any pursuers for the time being. It wasn't like before, when many people would come to give her milk tea or something. However, because of Lin Xian, at most, she had a bunch of people who had a crush on her. But since they knew that she had a boyfriend, almost no one came to confess to her. Although everyone felt that it was a bit ridiculous hugging left and right. Was it an act? That's right, when everyone calmed down, they felt that it should be an act. Otherwise it would be too fake. Even if they really didn't mind, they wouldn't be so high profile. There were still their families. But even so, the effect was indeed there. Moreover, after Lin Xian's incident and Ling Ying's incident, the current Saint of Love in Saint Brilliance Academy was indeed worthy of the name. Now those people were calling Lin Xian a Saint of Love. Why don't you go play? Lin Xian walked in, sat beside Wang Xintong, and put his hand on Wang Xintong's hand. Of course, this scene was seen by many people. Acting? Was this really an act? It shouldn't be. If it was an act, then how could Wang Xintong be taken advantage of by Lin Xian? They didn't quite understand. I still prefer to read books in peace, Wang Xintong said with a red face. She was still not used to being intimate with Lin Xian in front of others. She felt very shy. Even if the two of them were alone, she was still very shy. But this made her even more shy. You should play more with Yi and the others. Wang Xintong nodded. I know. Do you still go to Uncle Qin's place? Lin Xian asked with concern. Wang Xintong nodded. I go, but not as often as before. Uncle Qin said that my martial arts and combat skills are not bad now. He said that I won't improve much if I continue to train. He means that I should participate more in actual combat to become stronger. Lin Xian rubbed his chin. Then wait for a while. It's not very peaceful outside during this period. You can't rush it. Wang Xintong nodded. Yes, I know. Give me a kiss. Lin Xian then moved his face closer. The surrounding students all clenched their fists. F***ck. Wang Xintong blushed. No, there are people around. Lin Xian smiled. Then let's go to the field and kiss. That's right, the field was a sacred place. Every night, those couples would walk to the field hand in hand, and then some would hug and kiss. No. Wang Xintong pouted. It was so embarrassing, and they still wanted to kiss. Chapter 665. Lin Xian was just teasing Wang Xintong. How could he kiss her in front of so many people? Okay, I won't tease you anymore. Lin Xian smiled. At this moment, someone walked towards Lin Xian tentatively. Lin Xian. No, Casanova. There's something I'd like to ask you. A student said embarrassedly. Lin Xian. Was he so popular now? Following this person's question, the surroundings were suddenly filled with people. Yeah, Casanova, teach us too. We don't want to be single. Yeah, we don't have the ambition to chase after the campus belle. But we just want to pursue a girlfriend. Please teach us. Lin Xian. Ahem. Lin Xian coughed dryly, and the group of people suddenly quieted down. Then, Lin Xian glanced at the crowd and said, There's no such thing as a Casanova. There's no such thing as a way to pursue a girl. It all depends on sincerity. I can't teach you this kind of thing. Everyone, please return to your seats. Nonsense, Lu Jingyi learned it from you. Someone shouted. He gave you a few million as a learning fee. Give me the same, and I'll teach you immediately. What about these people? What would happen if Lin Xian taught them? That's right. Lin Xian would be followed by a group of people asking him questions wherever he went. Therefore, if he rejected them directly, there wouldn't be any problems. At most, there would be a few rich people, and then he could scam them. Hearing Lin Xian's words, those people were terrified. How many families were willing to pay a few million just to chase after girls? Okay, everyone, you can leave. At this moment, Xiao Runing walked in. She looked at Lin Xian helplessly. She already knew that this bastard would not have a peaceful time at St. Brilliant Academy. On the first day, he hugged girls left and right, beat up Liao Zhibang, and caused all kinds of trouble. However, she was used to it. If he was quiet, he wouldn't be Lin Xian. After the first class, Wang Haiyang walked in to look for Lin Xian. Originally, he wanted to invite Lin Xian for a meal, but Lin Xian didn't want to go. So Lin Xian casually bragged for a while and gave him some advice. Wang Haiyang listened very seriously and sincerely. As for whether Lin Xian could catch up with Wang Haiyang, that was naturally impossible. When the time came, Wang Haiyang wouldn't suspect Lin Xian. He would just think that Lin Xian was not capable enough. As for Lin Xian, he came to St. Brilliant Academy mainly for the secret territory. He didn't think about anything else. It wasn't time for the competition to enter the secret territory yet. In fact, there wasn't much meaning for Lin Xian to stay in the academy. He only came because he could play with the girls and keep them company. Lin Xian didn't want to pay attention to that Wang Haiyang going after Han Chuxue. When he failed, Lin Xian could go and earn a second wave of money. Right now Lin Xian felt like he had nothing to do. No one else could be like him. As for the Azura Palace, Lin Xian probably had a grudge with them. After all, he beat up the left and right hands of the White Tiger Hall's hallmaster. However, the Azura Palace couldn't openly attack Lin Xian. They couldn't even attack the Yixian group. After all, they didn't dare to touch the Yixian group's business. This was a business supported by the whole continent. If they destroyed the shop, it would attract the dissatisfaction of the people of the continent. Therefore, they must be looking for an opportunity to attack Lin Xian. At the very least, they must get back at him. During lunch in the cafeteria, Lin Xian sat alone with Wang Xintong, Yi Yi, and Lu Yufan, the three campus belles. The hateful gazes around them were too much, but Lin Xian was used to it. Especially when they saw the three campus belles give some of their food to Lin Xian. This further confirmed the closeness between them. After Lu Jingyi finished getting his food, he came over and sat beside Lin Xian. Normally, he wouldn't eat in the cafeteria. He would go out to eat. However, because Lin Xian was here, he came. Brother Xian, have you heard about something? Lu Jingyi wanted to curry favor with Lin Xian. He took the initiative to get closer to Lin Xian. What? Lin Xian looked at Lu Jingyi suspiciously. Today, no, last night, the Holy Dragon Flame Cave erupted. Dozens of volcanoes erupted. It's simply spectacular. Holy Dragon Flame Cave? Lin Xian had heard of this name before. It was a very powerful place with a lot of fire attributes. Once Lin Xian also wanted to go there, but why didn't he go? It seemed that the place was quite dangerous, and the terrain was extremely complicated. The main reason was that there was a fire attribute dragon there. This was the most important thing. Let's not talk about what attribute it was a dragon, the top existence among demon beasts. Almost no one had ever seen a creature like a dragon. Most of the dragons were neutral existences. But if you disturbed its peace and it attacked, then you couldn't blame anyone. This place had been visited by people over the years. However, no one had ever found a dragon, nor were there any traces of a dragon living there. Therefore, this was just a rumor. Why did it erupt? Lin Xian frowned. He still cared a lot about that place. Firstly, it was related to dragons. Secondly, it was a place with an extremely rich fire attribute. Lin Xian needed a place with rich attributes because as long as he could find it, as long as there was a strong heaven and earth spiritual energy, then he could absorb it and unlock the attribute power after absorbing it. Among all his attributes, only the thunder attribute could be achieved in this way. The space attribute was also considered as well. The poison attribute was also obtained by himself, and the ice attribute was given by Bing Lingyue's mission. Therefore, Lin Xian couldn't only rely on missions. He had to fight for it himself. He didn't think about other things first. First, he had to get the attributes. Who knows? Maybe the legendary dragon there has awoken? Anyway, it's all kinds of volcanic eruptions. This is real, and it has been continuing. It's probably erupting now. Sigh. I really want to go, but unfortunately my strength doesn't allow me. I'm afraid that the weakest person there is in the thunder tribulation realm. Lu Jingyi sighed. Strength was a shortcoming. Needless to say, Lin Xian was really tempted. Volcanic eruptions? Lin Xian heard that although the volcanoes there were active volcanoes. If dozens of volcanoes erupted at the same time, then there was obviously something abnormal going on. If it was one volcano erupting, then it might be normal. If it was two volcanoes, then it would be fine. But dozens, even an idiot would know. Something must have happened there. Should he go? Lin Xian was struggling. He was going to go out with Han Chuxue and the others to level up. This was a good opportunity, but there were two problems. First, it was in the territory of the beasts, and the direction was very far away from Tianhua City. It wasn't in the other direction of Linan City that they wanted to go to. In addition, Tianhua City had just fallen. The road might be dangerous, extremely dangerous. Second, the Holy Dragon Flame Cave was definitely very dangerous. Chapter 666. Humans were just like that. Even though they knew it was dangerous, once their curiosity and interest were piqued, they would subconsciously go to that place. Lin Xian had indeed warned them not to go to Tianhua City's demonic beast territory during this period of time. When they went out to grind levels tomorrow night, they would only grind levels in an area between Linan City and the city that was further in the heart of the demonic beast territory. That area was actually human territory, while Tianhua City was the true demonic beast territory. It was just that there were many demonic beasts there, but the level of danger was indeed much lower. Is there any other news? Lin Xian asked. Lu Jingyi scratched his head. He just came over to find a topic to chat with Lin Xian. Why did he take it so seriously? There's no news. Many experts have gone over to check out the situation. We don't know the specifics, but a few experts from my family went over last night and haven't returned yet. I hope nothing bad happened. I heard from my family that the spiritual energy of heaven and earth there seems to be thicker. Lin Xian raised his eyebrows. Is it reliable? Of course, this is not a secret. Any special place, once linked to the heaven and earth spiritual energy, there would be two things. First, heaven and earth spiritual treasures. Second, powerful demonic beasts. He hoped it was the former. Okay, I got it. Thanks. It's no big deal. Lu Jingyi didn't know why Lin Xian wanted to thank him. He didn't think that Lin Xian would go there. However, even though only Lightning Tribulation Realm cultivators could enter, there were still many Profound Heaven Realm cultivators who had gone. Those below the Profound Heaven Realm could forget about it. The so-called Lightning Tribulation Realm cultivators were only considering the safety issue. Even if you were a Qi-building realm cultivator, you could still enter, but there was no guarantee that you would be able to survive halfway or reach the Holy Dragon Flame Cave. Lin Xian, are you going? Lu Yufan and the others understood Lin Xian quite well. Lin Xian asked about their auspicious island, so he definitely had this thought. What? Brother Xian, you're going? Lu Jingyi showed a surprised expression, and then suddenly understood. That's right. The other party was in the Thunder Tribulation Realm. He could even defeat Liao Zhibang. So what was there to be afraid of? At the very least, he had the qualifications to go there. Moreover, it was a space attribute. To be honest, that kind of place was infinitely attractive to any warrior. It had a powerful elemental attribute, and at the same time, it might be accompanied by heaven and earth spiritual treasures. Obtaining it might be a good fortune. Lin Xian said. I'll think about it. It's not certain. If you're going, I'm going too. Lu Yufan said. Wang Xintong also looked at Lin Xian expectantly. What are you going to do? I'll slap you to death. Lu Yufan then pouted, feeling wronged. Lu Jingyi was speechless. It turned out that one really couldn't lick a girl's boots when talking to her. This Lin Xian even said something like, I'll slap you to death. Why was he talking to a girl? He even had to be careful not to curse. I've learned. You guys cultivate well. Look at Xintong. She's already in the Profound Heaven Realm. It won't be long before she breaks through to the Thunder Tribulation Realm. What about you two? You're only in the profound body realm. Lin Xian said. One day I'll become an expert too. Lu Yufan said. Yi Yi also nodded. Then work hard. But it's so dangerous there, Lin Xian said. If it's dangerous, why are you going there? Can you protect me? You might even drag me down. I'm ignoring you. Lu Yufan pouted, then continued eating, not saying a word to Lin Xian. Little girl, Lin Xian said with a smile. Lu Yufan fiercely glared at Lin Xian. After the three girls finished eating, they left together, while Lin Xian was thinking about something. Brother Xian, how's your relationship with Lingying going? It's all right, Lin Xian said. We're still betting. You have to catch her in 3 days. Catching up to a goddess of this level in 3 days? That was simply a dream. He might have to chase her for 3 years. But Lin Xian's performance made him feel that it was too amazing. He might not be able to get her in 3 days. But in Lu Jingyi's opinion, he should be able to get her if he spent more time. Lin Xian nodded. It's simple. There are still 2 days. You just have to watch in 2 days. Ah, simple. Is this F** King human language? Let me ask you, do you know what their general realm is like? Lu Jingyi scratched his head and said, I'm not too sure. But in the academy, the lowest is the mysterious heaven realm. Looking at their situation, they shouldn't be weak. This realm was hard to say. But sometimes the temperament that was revealed could be roughly seen. For example, when Ling Longshui walked outside, anyone who saw her would first be stunned by her beauty, and then subconsciously feel that this woman must be very powerful. If you were a normal beautiful woman, it would be possible, but the temperament that was revealed in her every movement made people feel something. Temperament was something that couldn't be described with words, it could only be felt. Then tell me, with such a young and high realm, do they like to farm? Lu Jingyi nodded. Of course, if they are so outstanding and have high cultivation, they will definitely improve themselves in all aspects. So now I'll teach you another way to pick up girls. Take them to farm. Allah! Lu Jingyi was stunned. Since they are the kind of people who are willing to improve themselves, then we'll take them to improve. In the demon beast domain, it is full of danger. This kind of opportunity is more precious than any other occasion, and the effect is better. It might even save their lives, and at the same time, it can also show the charm of a man. Do you think this kind of interaction is good for picking up girls? Lu Jingyi slightly nodded. Of course there is, but can it be realized? Whether it can be realized or not, you can see the results in 2 days. Right now, I'm going to invite them to the demon beast domain. With that, Lin Xian walked out. Hey, big brother Xian, wait for me. The two of them came to their classroom. The 2 girls sat in the corner, looking at their phones together, as if they were watching a video. They could see that the people around them were secretly looking at them, but they didn't strike up a conversation, because they didn't dare. Even existences like Wang Haiyang and Liao Zhibang couldn't get them, so how could they do it? Then, they saw the legendary Lin Xian come. Hey, are the 2 beauties free? Lin Xian greeted them, and directly sat in front of them. Lu Jingyi was a little embarrassed. He sat a little further away, so that he could hear their conversation. This Lin Xian, could he really invite them to the demon beast domain? Chapter 667. What's the matter? Lingying could be considered to be cooperating with Lin Xian's performance. He did not show any intimacy, but it seemed to be slightly different to other boys. Then Lin Xian told them about the Holy Dragon Flame Cave. The 2 girls frowned slightly. The surrounding people could not help but exclaim. They want to go to the Holy Dragon Flame Cave? Sure, tonight. Yes, tonight I'll pick you up. All right. Lingying nodded. She didn't care if what Lin Xian said was true or false. She just had to agree. It didn't matter if it was false. But if it was true, he definitely had other ways. He must have thought it through before saying it, so she chose to believe in Lin Xian. Lu Jingyi's face was filled with admiration. Inviting them to the demon beast domain might not be too difficult. But going to the Holy Dragon Flame Cave was extremely difficult. It was very dangerous there, and for people who were not very familiar with each other, they had to worry about whether or not the other party had other thoughts and dangers. However, they actually agreed so straightforwardly. In just one day, their relationship was already so good. This Lin Xian's methods could be said to be heaven-defying. Okay, then it's settled. I'll be leaving first. Lin Xian had only come over to play around and act like a little B***tch. While he was at it, he told them about his plans. That's right, he was planning to make a trip to the sacred dragon flame cave tonight. As for confidence, he had an advantage that most people did not have. And that was the fact that he was strong. Bewitching that girl Ling Longyue, using some delicious food to trick her and bring her along. With her here, if they encountered any danger, a spatial energy would be enough to send them away. With such a backup plan, Lin Xian would not be too worried. Damn! Older brother Xian, how did you get them to agree so directly? Lu Jingyi asked curiously. It's simple. As long as you have a good relationship with them, they will have enough trust in you. You can make them trust you in one day. Lin Xian smiled, then patted his shoulder and said, It depends on your skills. You are still too far away. Don't think about this for now. I'm convinced. Lu Jingyi looked at Lin Xian with a sincere gaze. The two of them strolled around the academy. That's right. Where's the #1 beauty of St. Brilliant Academy? Take me there. Lin Xian asked. To be able to stand side by side with Han Chuxue and the others, she must be especially beautiful. Lin Xian would definitely be able to trigger the quest. Although he already had a lot of unfinished quests and girls, humans were just that greedy. Curious. Since Lin Xian knew that he should be able to trigger a quest, he was curious as to what kind of quest it would be. In any case, the quests he had triggered were all better than the ones before. At the very least, none of them were particularly bad. Hence Lin Xian was curious. This? Lu Jingyi scratched his head then said. She's a little hard to meet. She's usually in the backyard, and the backyard is a place that students like us can't go. She only comes out occasionally, so it's harder to meet her. She's also very strong. She's the #1 of Lin and City's Sky Martial Arts Tournament, and is especially beautiful. In my opinion, only Han Chuxue, Ling Ying, and Miss Xiao can be on par with her in terms of beauty. Lin Xian was secretly speechless. The girls these days were all much more outstanding than the boys. Xiao Runing was indeed beautiful. It was not an exaggeration to call her the most beautiful teacher in history. In Tianhua Academy, it was also Han Chuxue and Ling Ying who reached the top. In St. Brilliant Academy, it was also a girl who reached the top. Young Master Lin. A voice came from behind. Lin Xian turned his head and saw Wang Haiyang running over. Young Master Wang, is something the matter? Or are you having trouble picking up girls? Lin Xian asked with a smile. Wang Haiyang felt uncomfortable. He tried to chat with Han Chuxue according to Lin Xian's method. He felt that it was effective, but he felt that the speed at which he picked up girls was too different from Lin Xian's. He did not believe it. He had the method, but why was there such a huge difference in the speed at which he picked up girls? Moreover, he did not feel that Han Chuxue's feelings towards him had changed too much. When he heard that Lin Xian had invited them to the sacred dragon flame cave, his first reaction was that it must have been a failure. However, he did not expect that they would agree. What the F***ck? Young Master Lin, are you going to the sacred dragon flame cave with Ling Ying and the rest tonight? Lin Xian nodded. Yes, we're going to have some fun. Wang Haiyang. Have some fun? How could you say something like that? How about this? I want to go too. Why don't I join you guys tonight? Wang Haiyang said. He had learned some useful things from Lin Xian. Tonight, they could be considered to be alone together. Moreover, in the realm of demonic beasts, he could also show off his manly strength. Girls preferred stronger men. His strength was not weak, so he could also show off. Lin Xian smiled in his heart. Free labor came. Oh, young Master Wang wants to go too. Wang Haiyang nodded. Aren't I pursuing Chuxue? Of course I have to protect her. Lin Xian was touched by her words. It was a pity that the girls were all his. Sure, but is young Master Wang strong enough? That sacred dragon flame cave must be extremely dangerous. If you die inside, wouldn't we be in trouble? Wang Haiyang. F***ck you. Can't you say something nice? Lightning tribulation realm should be enough, right? Not bad. Then we'll have to trouble young Master Wang to drive us tonight. Lin Xian smiled. Wang Haiyang. How did it become him driving? However, it didn't matter. It was enough to be with them. Moreover, he believed that Lin Xian was bringing them out to pick up girls. Otherwise, why would he bring them? As for how to pick up girls, Wang Haiyang didn't know. However, following Lin Xian, and seeing what Lin Xian did, he definitely wouldn't be a problem. No problem. See you at the entrance of the school at 7 p.m. tonight. Okay. Then Wang Haiyang walked away. His strength was about the same as Lin Xian and the others. Of course, it wasn't because he was very talented. He should be 25 years old, 3 or 4 years older than them. However, their realms were the same. However, in 3 years they would definitely be stronger. They might even be in the law realm, or the domain realm. Therefore, compared to those people in Tiandu, there was still a gap. Their realms might be similar, but they were a few years older than those people. Now that you mention it, even I want to go. Lu Jingyi sighed and said. Forget it. The mystic heaven realm is still dangerous. Moreover, the two of them don't have what you want. It's not that I don't want to, but I also know that I'm a lot weaker than Wang Haiyang and the others. Therefore, I don't want girls of this level. You guys must be careful. Lin Xian nodded. At this moment, Lin Xian saw a group of people in front. It was as if they had seen a celebrity. The appearance of Han Chuxue and the others, including some of the school beauties, was the same. However, this one was obviously more famous. Chapter 668. Damn. Brother Xian, we're in luck today. It's Xiao Xingyue. Xiao Xingyue is coming out. Lin Xian scratched his head. Xiao Xingyue? That's the #1 campus belle. In terms of looks and temperament, I think she's on par with Han Chuxue and Ling Ying. However, she's still the most famous expert and campus belle of our St. Brilliance Academy. She still has a lot of suitors. Lu Jingyi said. Let's go and take a look. Lu Jingyi saw the burning passion in Lin Xian's eyes. He swallowed a mouthful of saliva. This guy isn't going to do something, is he? After all, it's a girl of Han Chuxue's level. Wouldn't it trigger a mission if he went over? That's right, Lin Xian went over. However, there were too many people. He couldn't squeeze in at all. Damn, there's a beauty taking off her clothes. Lin Xian suddenly shouted from behind. The people in front immediately looked back. At this time Lin Xian squeezed in. Lu Jingyi. What the F***ck? Is this even possible? After Lin Xian squeezed through the crowd, he realized that a lady was walking towards him. The crowd moved along with her just like a celebrity. It was just that this group of people only dared to look at her, but did not dare to get close to her. Beside her was a very handsome man. The corner of his mouth had an elegant and gentlemanly arc as he followed her. He had to admit that these people were really handsome. This should be the person called Gong Sun Jun that Lu Jingyi mentioned. He was the #2 expert of the St. Brilliance Academy, only below Xiao Xingyue. At the same time, he was also the son of the Azura Palace's White Tiger Hall's hall master. Furthermore, he was Xiao Xingyue's suitor. However, Lin Xian was more concerned about this girl called Xiao Xingyue. When she came closer, Lin Xian could clearly see her face. The girl was wearing a white dress. Her beautiful face was as delicate and flawless as porcelain. Her crescent-shaped eyebrows were slightly knitted, and her clear eyes were shining. Her silky black hair cascaded down her back like a waterfall, as if it was made by nature. Her figure was tall and flawless, and her skin was as white as jade. It was obvious that she was a cold and aloof female lead. Indeed, she was very similar to Han Chuxue. Of course, it was only her temperament that was similar. This temperament made Lin Xian immediately think that this Xiao Xingyue must have come from a decent family. As for her appearance and temperament, she was indeed worthy of being the #1 campus belle of the St. Brilliance Academy. She was very, very beautiful. She was the type of girl that could arouse any man's desire to conquer her. Han Chuxue was a little better. After all, she had a boyfriend, Lin Xian. After being bullied by Lin Xian, her cold temperament gradually changed to become more gentle. Her coldness was not as exaggerated as before. Perhaps it was because she had a boyfriend, but she did not care about other people's opinions or pursuits. However, she would still be cold and elegant. Ling Ying, Han Chuxue, Xiao Xingyue, and perhaps Xiao Runing. Among the four of them, it was hard to tell who was prettier and had a better temperament. Everyone had their own preferences. In short, this was another top-notch girl. It was said that there were not many beauties in this world. Lin Xian agreed. However, looking at the girls he knew, from the demon god Linglong Shui, who had lived for thousands of years, to the ice empress Bing Lingyue, who had been frozen for 100 years, to the teenage Miao Xiaomiao, who still looked like a loli. Which one of them was not beautiful? Ding! Congratulations on triggering the mission. Successful confession of love to Xiao Xingyue. Mission reward. Unlimited exchange of chalcedony liquid without consumption. Permanently activating the wind attribute. Mission time limit, 3 months. Mission punishment. Unable to exchange for chalcedony liquid. Lin Xian. Really, Lin Xian wanted to curse. Triggering a mission was a good thing. Lin Xian was here to trigger this mission. The mission reward made Lin Xian extremely excited. Unlimited exchange of chalcedony liquid without consumption. In other words, as long as he completed this mission, Lin Xian would not need to consume any Adonis points. He would have as much chalcedony liquid as he wanted. This would completely solve Lin Xian's immediate problem. As long as he completed this mission, he would be able to start developing the Art Xian group in the 5 great empires. Because there would be enough chalcedony liquid. How could he not be excited? Then there was another reward, permanently activating the wind attribute. The wind attribute was one of Lin Xian's favorite attributes. Now he already had the water, ice, space, thunder, and poison attributes. His mastery of the thunder attribute was slightly better, and his space attribute was still okay. As for the poison attribute, he rarely used it. Almost no one knew about the water and ice attributes. Only Han Chuxue, Bing Lingyue, and a few others knew that Lin Xian also had the ice attribute. As for the water attribute, to Lin Xian, it might be the most useless compared to the other 4 attributes, but it was better than nothing. As for the wind attribute, although it could not be compared to space teleportation, it was very powerful in terms of speed and wind attribute martial arts. Just look at Miao Xiaomiao, she was very good at it. Therefore, this mission reward was extremely tempting to Lin Xian. He had to complete it. An unlimited supply of chalcedony liquid was simply too good. Then there was a mission penalty. This was what Lin Xian wanted to curse. If he did not complete it, there would be no more chalcedony liquid in the store. In other words, the Art Pavilion group would close down, and Lin Xian's development plans would be ruined. This system was really realistic. It would give him rewards based on what he needed, and at the same time, it would give him punishments. He had no choice but to complete it. However, even a girl like Linglong Shui had a favorability of 50. He had even managed to woo Han Chuxue and Ling Ying. At the same time, they could even do it together. Lin Xian felt that there was nothing impossible in this world. Excuse me. At first, Gong Sun Jun felt that being surrounded by so many people was because of Xiao Xinyue's beauty. He indeed felt that his vanity was greatly satisfied. However, when he saw so many people secretly taking photos, he was a little unhappy. Then Gong Sun Jun shouted, "From now on, this young master will beat up all of you who are taking photos. Do you hear me?" "Why?" Someone shouted in dissatisfaction. "Why?" "Because Xinyue is this young master's girlfriend." "Is that enough?" Gong Sun Jun's lips curled up as he sneered. Everyone was shocked. What? This Gong Sun Jun actually pursued Xiao Xinyue? Wow! The goddess has been pursued? Heavens! I don't want to accept this. F***CK. Why? Why did you have to let me know this heart-wrenching news today? The surrounding people were discussing. As for the authenticity of this news, there was no need to doubt it. This Gong Sun Jun said this in front of Xiao Xinyue, which proved that it was true. Xiao Xinyue did not have much of a reaction. She continued to walk outside, and soon the two disappeared from everyone's sight. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose. What kind of joke was this? This girl had been pursued by someone else? Then what was he pursuing her for? Then why did he trigger this mission? Chapter 669. Lin Xian obviously wouldn't be so arrogant as to think that all the pretty girls were his. But he had triggered a mission. What would he do? Poach. F*ck. This kind of feeling was different from the normal pursuit of a girl. This kind of feeling was shameful. F*ck. F*ck. Xiao Xinyue was actually pursued. Aha. I don't want to live anymore. Lu Jingyi's face was bitter. To be honest, the feeling of his goddess being pursued by another man was very uncomfortable. This was normal. She's not really a goddess. How could she be so easily pursued by someone else? Lin Xian said. That's not it. Lu Jingyi said. This Gong Sunjun has been pursuing Xiao Xinyue for almost 3 years. He's been meticulous to her. It's normal for him to be able to catch up with her after accumulating a little bit of favorability. After all, it's been almost 3 years. Anyone with a heart of stone wouldn't be indifferent, right? Lin Xian scratched his head. Brother Xian's expression seems to be very conflicted. Brother Xian couldn't have been thinking of pursuing Xiao Xinyue, right? Lin Xian nodded. You don't say. I really did have that thought. Then it's fine now. Lu Jingyi smiled. Lu Jingyi said. Gong Sunjun is a person who likes to show off. He must be eager to tell this news to others. But before this, I didn't see such news on the forum or his WeChat. According to my guess, they must have been together in the past 2 days. And Xiao Xinyue certainly didn't want him to say it. Of course, my guess is that Gong Sunjun must have agreed and used the opportunity just now to spread the news. He must have done it deliberately. Since they just got together, Xiao Xinyue certainly wouldn't be ruined by Gong Sunjun so easily, right? Lin Xian nodded. Lu Jingyi's words were quite correct. Plus, with Xiao Xinyue's personality, even if she was pursued, she wouldn't be willing to be taken advantage of in a short period of time. At least, it was impossible for her to sleep with him in a short period of time. It was very simple. Xiao Xinyue was pursued by Gong Sunjun for 3 years. What kind of conclusion could be drawn from this? She definitely didn't like this man very much. Otherwise, she wouldn't have taken 3 years to pursue him. However, she probably liked him a little. Maybe she didn't know it herself, so she agreed. Of course, there might be other reasons, but no one knew. Under such circumstances, with her personality, she probably wouldn't even agree to kiss him in a short period of time. She was limited to holding hands. That was nothing. As long as they didn't kiss or have sex, Lin Xian wouldn't accept it. However, for Lin Xian, as long as this girl kissed another guy, he would have a huge grudge. No matter how beautiful she was, he wouldn't want her. This was true. He didn't lack women anyway. However, since the system knew his personality, it would also formulate rewards and punishments according to the latest situation. Since this mission was triggered, Xiao Xinyue should meet the requirements, right? Lin Xian wasn't sure. We'll talk about it later. I have to go prepare for tonight's trip to the Holy Dragon Flame Cave. Lin Xian said and walked away. On the other side, Gong Sunjun and Xiao Xinyue walked out of St. Brilliant's Academy side by side. Xinyue, what do you want for lunch? Gong Sunjun asked with a smile. Anything. Xiao Xinyue's tone was really like Han Chushue's in the past. It was indeed cold and emotionless. Even when facing her boyfriend, she was like this. Gong Sunjun was used to it. Then let's go to Rose Heaven. I'll make a reservation now. Xiao Xinyue nodded slightly. By the way, are you sure you want to go to the Holy Dragon Flame Cave tonight? Yes. Then I'll go with you. Xiao Xinyue said. No need. I'll go check it out myself. That won't do. You're my girlfriend. I have to ensure your safety. I can only feel at ease when I'm by your side. Xiao Xinyue didn't say anything and walked straight ahead. Gong Sunjun walked with her. He moved his hand towards her, trying to hold her hand. Just as his hand touched hers, Xiao Xinyue's beautiful eyebrows suddenly furrowed. Then, she subconsciously retracted her hand and put it in her coat pocket. Gong Sunjun smiled in his heart. He was helpless. He had caught up with her. But he hadn't even touched her hand. But it didn't matter. Since he had caught up with her, it was enough. After all, he knew Xiao Xinyue's character. It didn't matter. It was just time. He had plenty of time. He believed that as long as he had time, not only would he be able to hold her hand, but he would also be able to get Xiao Xinyue into bed. After all, this woman was really beautiful. He really liked her. Compared to any woman he had played with before, she was the best. Moreover, she was especially clean. At a glance, he could tell that she had never held hands with a man or kissed him. Such a woman, in addition to being so beautiful and outstanding, would be really comfortable to be a wife. He felt that it wasn't difficult to pursue a girl. All he needed was a little trick. If he had known, he wouldn't have spent more than 2 years. He would have pursued her long ago. By now, he probably didn't know how many times he had slept with her. It was also a big failure. But it didn't matter. It was good that he had caught up with her. After 10 minutes, they arrived at Rose Heaven. Xiao Xinyue also received a phone call. She got up and walked to the side. "What's the matter?" Her voice was slightly gentler. "I heard that you have a boyfriend?" A girl came from the phone. Yes. The answer was simple and straightforward. Gong Sun Jun. He's okay. Actually, I was going to introduce you to someone. You? The other side laughed. It's true. I was really going to introduce you to someone. But since you've already handed him over, it doesn't matter. You should find your own boyfriend first. To be honest, I don't feel that this Gong Sun Jun is particularly attractive. He's quite outstanding, but he's far from the people in our family. Why did you agree? You've really surprised me. It's none of your business. The other side laughed. Okay. I don't care. Remember to protect yourself. I also believe in your eyesight and your own judgment. Oh right, there are still 3 months before the new year. Can you bring him home? It's none of your business. Mom and Dad are urging you even more. You should think about yourself. Okay. I'll be returning to Ice Country in about a month. I'm just letting you know. I'm hanging up. You guys go be sweet. On the other side, Xiao Runing hung up the phone and shook her head with a smile. This sister of hers had found a partner. It was really beyond her imagination. Chapter 670. Xiao Xinyue, Xiao Runing. They were sisters, but this matter was probably only known to the two of them. After Xiao Runing came to St. Brilliant Academy, she had only gone out to eat a meal with her once. But the relationship between the two sisters was pretty good. It was just that this younger sister was relatively cold. However, Xiao Runing was still surprised. Was Gong Sun Jun really that outstanding? Compared to where they were, there was still a huge gap. She also knew that her younger sister's heart wasn't in love, and her taste was indeed quite high. This was almost exactly the same as the Han Qishue she knew. How did she find a boyfriend? At one point, she even felt that it was impossible for her younger sister to find a boyfriend. However, it couldn't be generalized. Like was like. Who could say for sure? Just like that Lin Xian, he didn't have a big background, wasn't too outstanding, and wasn't too handsome. However, she had even kissed him before, and he wasn't angry. Therefore, Xiao Runing was quite understanding. If she met him, then she met him, no matter what his status was. Aya, let's go eat. Xiao Runing stretched her body and walked out. She also felt bad. Her family had already said that if she didn't bring a boyfriend back home this year, then she shouldn't go back. Her family had been urging her to do so. She didn't feel the rush. Perhaps her parents were like this. However, thinking about it, she was already 25 years old. Some people were already married at 20 years old, although their realms weren't low, and they might still look the same in their 40s or 50s. Age was still there. Her family was indeed anxious, and she was also embarrassed. After all, this younger sister of hers wasn't even 23 years old. Lin Xian. This person's appearance popped up in her mind. No, he's too young. He's only 21. At this moment, Lin Xian came to Linglong Shui and the others' place. Since there were more and more girls around him, Lin Xian's route had been to each of the girls' places. These 3 girls were nestled on the sofa, watching a Xianxia TV series. They seemed to be quite engrossed. Hey, I'm here. Can you guys welcome me? Lin Xian felt awkward. He was here. The 3 of them glanced at Lin Xian in unison, but did not say anything. Then they continued to look at the television. Yes. Linglong Shui replied with Lin Xian. Then he shrugged helplessly and sat on the sofa. Okay. Lin Xian elbowed Ling Longyue. What? Ling Longyue rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. Do you want to go out with me tonight? I'll take you to eat something delicious. At that moment, Ling Longyue's eyes lit up but she shook her head. No, I want to watch TV. Lin Xian. Wow. Oh my god. Food was not as attractive to her as television. This was also very normal. If girls watched dramas to a certain extent, they could forget themselves. Xiao Linglong, where are you? Lin Xian asked Linglong Shui. Nope. Little Bing Bing, what about you? Watching TV. Lin Xian. Wow. This was awkward. Then, Linglong Shui looked at Lin Xian. Do you have something to say? After all, Lin Xian had looked for them many times. Basically, it was for some reason. Lin Xian nodded. Yes, actually, there's a riot at the Holy Dragon Flame Cave in the Beast Domain. So I wanted to go and take a look. I don't know how dangerous it is, so I felt that it would be safer with an expert following me. I'm not free. Then she said calmly, Lin Xian. You want us to be your bodyguards for free? Don't even think about it. Ling Longyue wrinkled her cute nose. Can I pay? I don't lack money. Lin Xian. These 3 girls were poisoned by TV dramas. Alright, then I won't bring you to eat good food in the future. Lin Xian stood up with a sad look on his face. Girls nowadays were getting harder and harder to deceive. Linglong Shui said. It's best if you don't go to the Holy Dragon Flame Cave. Even if you go there, you won't be able to find anything powerful. As for danger, I'm not sure, but it shouldn't be an extremely dangerous area. Lin Xian pondered for a moment. You guys have already hurt my heart. I won't look for you guys anymore. I'll go find someone else. Bye-bye. Then Lin Xian left. Sister, is it not good? Ling Longyue saw that Lin Xian had left, and turned to ask Linglong Shui. Then you can follow and protect him. No, I want to watch TV. That bad guy is so bad, nothing will happen. Ling Longyue decisively refused. After Lin Xian left, his mood was extremely complicated. Women. Fickle women. They were usually so nice. But when they met something they liked more, they would abandon him. Tue. However, Lin Xian didn't think much of it. If he was a little more forceful, they would definitely follow him. But since they liked watching TV dramas, then let them be. Anyway, Lin Xian still had other options. That's right, Morongqing. This Morongqing was also a heavenly venerable. Although she wasn't of the space attribute, she was of the time attribute. She wasn't bad, and he might even be able to cultivate a good impression of her. Then Lin Xian gave her a call. Morongqing actually agreed without hesitation. It was obvious that she was quite interested. Even if Lin Xian didn't look for her, she might still go. This time, there were no more problems. Tonight's party consisted of Lin Xian, Morongqing, Ling Ying, Han Chuxue, and there was also the third wheel Wang Haiyang. It didn't matter if Wang Haiyang went or not. If he went, Lin Xian would let him be a driver or coolie. In front of Han Chuxue, he would probably be very willing and couldn't refuse. In the evening, Lin Xian also saw some news about the Holy Dragon Flame Cave on the internet. Most of the news was spread by the martial artists who came back from there. The authenticity of the news was still trustworthy. After a quick glance, Lin Xian roughly got some information about how dangerous it was inside. The Holy Dragon Flame Cave was very big and complicated. It was much bigger than the 10,000 spider cave they went to before. There were also demonic beasts, all of which were of the fire attribute. Azi used the fire attribute power in the Holy Dragon Flame Cave to cultivate quickly. The level of the demonic beasts was generally higher, but they didn't find anything particularly good inside. This also confirmed Linglong Shui's words. However, the deeper they went, the higher the temperature. It was so high that many people found it difficult to go in. The fire attribute was extremely prosperous, and the deeper they went, the more dangerous it was. As for what was in the depths, there was no news because those people hadn't returned yet. The ones who spread this news were those martial artists who couldn't go in and had to return. But this was good news. At least it showed that the deeper they went, the more likely they were to encounter the things they wanted to encounter. As for the dragon, it was indeed a legend. The possibility was still relatively low. Chapter 671. In the evening, they gathered at Morongqing's Rose Hotel. Originally, they had agreed to meet at St. Brilliant's Academy, where Wang Haiyang would pick them up. However, with the addition of Morongqing, the location was changed at the last minute. Wang Haiyang's face was filled with excitement. It was time to show off his manly prowess, to be able to go out with them. Lin Xian, Morongqing, Ling Ying, and Han Chushua sat in the hall, drinking tea and waiting for the driver, Wang Haiyang. These three beauties with their own unique features really made people feel happy. Of course, the one who was enjoying the happiness was Lin Xian. I have some understanding of the Holy Dragon Flame Cave. I heard some rumors a few years ago, but I'm not sure if it's true. In short, the most important thing to pay attention to is a phenomenon called flame tide. It really exists. Morongqing said to the three of them. What is flame tide? Lin Xian scratched his head with a puzzled look. You can think of it as the undercurrent of the sea. In a place like the Holy Dragon Flame Cave, we are in a giant sealed space. At the same time, we don't know how many years of fire elements have accumulated here. Normally, we can only feel the scorching heat of the fire attribute. However, under this kind of accumulation, it may form a phenomenon. That is, a very terrifying flame tide will suddenly erupt from the depths. In such an environment, once it erupts, as long as you are inside, it will be impossible to escape. This made Lin Xian a little scared. How dangerous is it? Morongqing shook her head. I'm not sure. It depends on the time, intensity, and various factors of the accumulation of fire elements. If it's too strong, maybe even a heavenly venerable will be injured. However, it should be more than that. I'm just telling you. Lin Xian nodded. There should be no problem. After all, someone has been there for a day before us. If there is really a flame tide there should be news, right? Morongqing smiled. If there is, I'm afraid they don't have the ability to send news. However, I think a heavenly venerable should be enough to block it. Since there are many demon beasts living and cultivating in the Holy Dragon Flame Cave, the possibility of this will be even lower. However, it's hard to say. After all, there hasn't been an outbreak there before. There must be a reason for the outbreak, so we still have to be more careful. You're here anyway. Lin Xian grinned at Morongqing. Morongqing rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. What I want to say is that this place is filled with danger. I just want to remind everyone to be careful. Ling Ying and the others also nodded. There was another reason for choosing to go at night, and that was because Ling Ying was of the dark attribute. Don't underestimate the difference in combat strength between night and day. The difference was like heaven and earth. Oh right, don't you know that beauty with the spatial attribute? Take her there. Morongqing looked at Lin Xian, and suddenly said, I'm not going. Lin Xian shrugged. Oh, so it's a spare tire. Lin Xian. Aya, you're so devoted to others. What a pity. You're indeed a dead fly in the vast ocean of others. Lin Xian. Scram, don't spout nonsense. Lin Xian rolled his eyes at Morongqing. Ling Ying and Han Chushua listened with jealousy. This bastard Lin Xian was devoted to another girl? Bastard. However, the spatial attribute reminded them of Ling Long Shui or Ling Long Yue. When they thought of them, they calmed down because they knew that Lin Xian had a good relationship with them. Moreover, Ling Long Yue had saved their lives. They just felt that if another girl they didn't know appeared, it would be very annoying. If they knew, it would be good if Lin Xian had a good relationship with them. How could they not let him interact with them? They found out. How could they be so magnanimous? Okay. Morongqing smiled and then looked at the time. Why aren't they here yet? We agreed to meet at 7. They should be here soon. Lin Xian said. Just as they finished talking, a car stopped in front of the door. Wang Haiyang came out. He had changed into a very handsome outfit. Well, no one else. Wang Haiyang then walked in excitedly. His eyes were naturally on Ling Ying and Han Chushue at first. Then he was suddenly stunned because he found that there was a girl sitting next to them. In terms of appearance and temperament, she didn't lose to them at all. Wait, were there so many beauties of this level in this world? That's not right. How come he hadn't seen many in his 20 years of life? Why did they come one after another in this period of time? Lin Xian, this is? Wang Haiying looked at Morongqing and asked Lin Xian. If he couldn't get Han Chuxue, he could get this girl. She was so beautiful and mature. Damn, this kind of girl was too good. She is. I'm Mr. Lin's secretary. I'm here to take care of Mr. Lin. Morongqing smiled and said first. Lin Xian. Wang Haiying. What the heck? Secretary? Lin Xian was dumbfounded. What was Morongqing doing? Why did she even bring out a secretary? Wang Haiying was even more dumbfounded. Secretary? Damn. This kind of girl was a secretary? This kind of temperament shouldn't be a secretary, right? But she already said so. Most importantly, she was Lin Xian's secretary? Damn it. Based on what? Based on what were all these girls King Lin Xian's? It was said that if there was something to do, the secretary would do it. If there was nothing to do, the secretary would do it. This Lin Xian wouldn't play with these kinds of girls every day, right? Look at him. He had played with many girls before, but compared to these girls, what kind of trash were they? Although it felt ridiculous, but for some reason, what if it was true? Lin Xian shook his head helplessly. Forget it, let this Morongqing make a fuss. Cough cough, it's quite good. Wang Haiying coughed dryly. Damn it. She just came and gave him a critical hit. Ling Ying and Han Chuxue also smiled slightly. Then let's go. Wang Haiying said. Let's go. Then they got into the car. The three girls sat in the back. Wang Haiying drove while Lin Xian sat in the front passenger seat. The journey to the Holy Dragon Flame Cave was about 5 hours. It was actually quite far. After all, the terrain there had changed suddenly. It definitely wouldn't be too close. It was definitely dangerous there. There might even be some extremely powerful heaven and earth spiritual items. Lin Xian was also going there because of this. He might be able to awaken the fire attribute. The fire attribute's damage couldn't be compared to lightning, but it was second only to lightning. It was also a big shot in the attack attribute. It was also very important. In the past, the deep cold valley was actually similar to the current Holy Dragon Flame Cave. However, the Holy Dragon Flame Cave should be more dangerous and bigger than the deep cold valley. The heaven and earth spiritual item in the deep cold valley was actually Bing Lingyue. Using this analogy, if the Holy Dragon Flame Cave had a heaven and earth spiritual item, wouldn't it be even more exaggerated? You're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.